Welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan, and we are playing Vintage Story. There it is. Hello, hello, folks. Looks like Rod is here. What's up, Rod? Boy, oh boy, you were in quite early, my friend. Happy weekend chat. No zombies today, just drifters. That's right. It's somewhat peaceful world of panning, windmills, and sideways instability. So true, buddy. So true. Thank you for coming by. And Andy's here in Twitch chat. So, what's going on, my friend? Always am. Yeah, appreciate you guys dropping in. You two are usually early and very, very faithful followers. I appreciate it, of course. Thank you. So, we got a couple of changes, as you might see. Oh, look at this. We've got a new overlay on the screen. So, this was suggested by a commenter, and sadly, the name escapes me. I don't remember who recommended this, but it's a great idea, not just for chat, but for me as well, to help me remember what the hell I'm supposed to be doing during the live stream. But we can update this in real time, so we're going to be checking off hopefully all 5 of these things. And if you guys want to add something to it, just shout out and give me a no dono list. No. Interesting you mentioned that. When I was like looking for overlays, like this is pretty bare bones. It's just text. When I was actually looking for like an overlay, I was trying to go for something fancy that I could like animate and stuff. But everything that you like search for with the word goal in it specifically is for like subscriber and follower goals. What's up, the Assassin's Mark? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, just getting started on the live stream. Hey, what's up, Lux? Nice and relaxed. Time to chill out. That's right, everybody. Thank you for joining me, folks. We're just getting started back on our 1.21 world. So this is the stable wilderness survival world we've been playing on for about 6 or 7 live streams now. Yeah, about a total of 15 hours in this world. But I've got my mod list down in the description of the YouTube video, I should say. So check that out if you're interested. But as you can see, today's goals are marked up here. So one thing I've been talking about, but I keep forgetting, is just to make some primitive armor. That's unfortunately what I mean when I say armor, is I'm talking about the primitive kind. Same with the shield. I just want to whip together something, to help us survive out here. Because now that we're really starting to dig deeper into the world, we're hitting caverns and stuff that have like nightmare drifters. So I'm not saying we're going to go toe to toe with every one of those we see, but I just like to be somewhat prepared. Sometimes that primitive armor stuff can be the difference between like one hit killing you or one hit just removing like 90% of your life. I've had it happen with bears and stuff before. So first things first, I think we're just going to cut a little bit of our grass out here. Of course, grass is one of the components we need for the armor, but we'll wait for some folks to come in before we start getting to the real exciting parts. But yeah, I'm hoping, well, we can get some bronze going today, enough to pour out an anvil. If we take a look, yeah, we've got the anvil ready, the mold. I've got a copper one, and we definitely have enough copper. All we need is some more tin bronze, or not tin bronze. All we need is more tin ore or some bismuth. And of course, a little bit of zinc goes a long way, which we have some of, but you like the aesthetic of the primitive. There's wood, lamellar 2. Well, let's look that up, actually. Let's step inside. If that's not too hard to do, maybe we can, what's it called? Wood? Wood. Let me just look up brass, lead, head. Okay. I think, okay, this does require pelts. That's a good, and resin. Yeah, good call, Rod. This is definitely a good early game thing. I need to really start getting pelts, don't I? I think you probably recommended that previously, because we have got some pelts. But I was like, no, there's no reason to make them. And I was wrong. So we'll cure those, get those to curing. We'll have to do a bit of a hunting expedition, which I'm totally up for. We'll grab some of our copper spears and stuff. But I mean, in the meantime, I think we will still make a bit of the primitive stuff too. But yeah, good shout out, buddy. See, didn't I just see some wood out here? Am I crazy? Well, let's chop down this tree. As soon as it grows up, we got to chop them down over here. But one of the many, many trees that I've planted since we settled in this area, and it's like the only one that has grown recently. But yeah, let's go, everybody. Thanks for coming by. Of course, I've got my stream schedule pinned in chat, both on YouTube, Twitch, and on Kick. That's right, this is my second official Kick stream. So I'm branching out, trying new platforms and stuff, but you know how it is. It's a slow process to grow. But I appreciate everybody. Short, make the armor and the third-person view. Wait, short, making the armor in a third-person view? Is that you mean like an idea for a short? I love it, Rod. Cinematic. You don't have to... Hey, what's up, Arrow Music? You don't have to lay out pelts to cure. I thought you had to. Oops. You know, that's an interesting thing. No, you don't have to. You can just put them in a container. And it's funny you mentioned that, because that seems like something which would be very much in line with like a vintage story way of doing things, you know? I like that idea. Maybe it was a mod you played with too, perhaps. But either way, thanks for dropping in, Ariel. Hello, hello. Roderick. Alright, let's go here. I'm gonna chop up a few more axes, and then we'll chop down a few more trees. But yeah, just getting geared up here, everybody. I hope you like the new chat overlay too. So Twitch has recently changed its rules, and we are now allowed to combine chat. So what you guys are seeing on the screen over here on the left is chats from all three platforms. Then you should be able to see that thanks to the little logos that pop up there next to the names too. But alright, let's go. Yeah, big shout out to streamer.bot and Nutty, the creator Nutty. He's a great guy. He's funny. I was watching his stream before my stream today, but yeah, he turned me on to this streamer.bot program, which lets us see everybody chatting together. Alright, that was a tiny bit of wood, but it might just be enough for our purposes. I don't know, actually I've kind of forgotten what we're looking at in terms of our charcoal situation. Let's come over here and check that out. Sometimes watching Twitch as well, and depend which site I'm on already when I notice you're live. Yeah. Whatever you're comfortable with, you know. Some people don't like Twitch. Others do really enjoy like the more like interactive experience, you know, that you get with emotes and whatnot. So yeah, it's whatever you want. And of course, if you're a Kick watcher too, like I said, this is my second time on the Kick platform. Alright, so let's eat a little bit. Yeah, we might actually just need to take a quick break to hunt for food. I don't think that's a bad idea. Wait, where is one? Oh, this is what I'm looking for. Okay. So, Rod, what were you saying? Go into... Can I even do third person when I'm crafting like this? Boom. And we'll turn ourselves around, maybe? Yes. Oh, boy, here we go. It's happening. Oh, look at that little gold medallion he's wearing. This guy, I forgot. He had some good luck when he was panning. No doubt about it. This is our lucky character. All right, we've got enough of that. We got enough of this. And, of course, we need our trusty flint knife. Boom, look at that. Now, we shall equip it. Watch him change, people. Yes, it's like Batman, essentially. I love it. Let's go. And cut. That was it, buddy. That was the short right there. Maybe we should zoom in on him, too. Oh, man. Look at that. Now I want to zoom out a little bit. All right, we're back into first person. So, oh, check it out. Let me just hit escape so nothing attacks me real quick. But now we get to check off one of the things on our list. Boom, look at that. Armor, check. Bada boom. Okay, so next we will check off the shield. So I don't actually remember what the shield recipe is, so let's look it up. But yeah, look at that. A little purple check mark right there, people. Basket helm. Is that actually a thing? I am wearing this because it gives us a little bit of warmth and stuff, but that's not super important. Hey, Private Info, what's up? Caught another live stream, buddy. This is a rare occasion for you. Well, I hope that they can become much more frequent, my friend. Appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. Welcome. Hey, Hanny, how you doing, buddy? It's great to see you once again and chat with you, my friends. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's stick this over here. Yep, just getting started on the live stream. Taking a look at the new goals I've got lined up here. But thanks for dropping in, everybody. All right. Hey, How Johnson? How's it going, buddy? Finally caught me live? That's awesome, bro. Thank you so much for coming in, bro or sister. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, we're just getting started today. I'm going to be going for at least 3 hours, hopefully more than that, just depending, how things go. But I really appreciate you guys coming by. We're in our 1.21 stable world right now, so I'm still waiting on another big update for 1.22, one of the release candidates, or hopefully, yeah, we'll get the release candidates soon, but we'll see. We'll see. Excuse me, interesting side note, I was watching one of the developers, like one of the designers, today streaming on Twitch, and they were actually making one of the dungeons. He was kind of designing it and stuff. Like, for the most part, it looks like it's done, but he was just like throwing in some tweaks and stuff. So I got a little sneak peek at what the upcoming dungeons look like in the game. And they, not to spoil too much, but they do look very much like reminiscent of the Resonance archives in a lot of ways. Like, it reminded me of certain sections of the RA. So it's definitely like got that vintage story feel to it, which was really cool. But yeah, if you're not a member of the Discord for Vintage Story, definitely join, because that's where I saw the link pop up for like one of the developers streaming. They have a special channel just for developer streams. I'll be unemployed in 4 months. We'll have much more time then. We'll private info. I hope that's not a bad thing for you, buddy. But I know I had a buddy. Homeless bum, I joke. Well, I had a friend who was a union carpenter, and he would get laid off for like 6 months out of the year. He still collected like benefits during that time, so he would just essentially get paid during the off season when it was too cold to work outside. So for him, like, being unemployed was a good thing. We would play like World of Warcraft to go raiding and stuff. It was the good times. But all right, anyway, what are we looking at here? All right, we do have a bit of food. That's important. We'll sustain ourselves on that for a brief time. So let's look up the shield. Hey, Faker Cakes. What's up, my friend? Welcome, dude. Hello, hello. Shield. I just want the primitive one. Crude shield. This is what I want. Oh, what do I need? Just bamboo? Or cattails? Hold on. That's awesome. We can do that. I've never made this before. I always just wait for metal, but it's like, I need it, I need this, people, to survive. Should probably also whip together some more bandages, too. I'm noticing we don't have any of that. I've got a few horsetails here, but it's not much. Also, you're looking at all the metal we've got right here in the world. So like I was saying, if we can get our hands on some bismuth, I don't know if this is going to be enough zinc to actually get like a full 900 units, but we desperately need either that or more of the cassiterite here. So that's on the list of goals here, people. But let's see what's going on, everybody. The company I work for shut down the plant, so it's a new point in life. Oh, my friend, I hope you can find a new job quickly and get back up on your feet, buddy. Yeah, that's a tough thing. Probably you need to check out the change episodes, Rod. Let's see, Ben, what's up? Highly recommend Full Metal Shield when available. Yeah, Ben, you're right. Right now, like I was just saying, this is all the ore that we have in the world. But we do have like a really good reading on some iron. But the goal in today's stream, one of our goals, as you can see in the upper right of the screen, is to get a bronze anvil. Then once we've got that, we'll be fully prepared, because I've already got, some of this going. So we'll just need to go retrieve some extra some extra clay and make some fire clay. But let's see, what time is it? It's 5 p.m. Yeah. Let's go ahead. So we've accomplished another of our goals. So let me just check that off real quick. This is my first time using this goals overlay, guys. So just indulge me here. There we go. Purple check mark number 2 going in. So the temporal gear is kind of an optional goal. We'll just see. I put that up there to indicate that I'm going to be, doing a bit of panning. We do have one. Yeah, I've already got one as a backup, but let's grab whatever sand we've got. A little bit of gravel. I'll put that away. Yeah. We're just going to do some panning this evening, folks, but we do have a little bit of time left, so let's switch that over. Let's see. Yeah, we got daylight. It might be a little rainy out here, people, but this is perfect weather for going hunting. So let's see if we can go get some more pelts, because that'll be really nice for making armor. Thanks to Rod recommending that. Let's see. And when's the new update in Vintage Story Faker Cakes? I don't know just yet. Hopefully we'll see it by the end of this month, or maybe right around the beginning of March. It's not going to be the staple. It'll be the first release candidate, but that should have like all the features in it, and they'll just have to work out the bugs at that point, as I understand how it's going to go. But yeah, I don't know for sure, buddy. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm watching it very closely, and I can assure you that once the 1.22 release candidate and, of course, the stable version finally comes out, we'll be covering it here, so make sure you guys subscribe, follow me on Twitch, appreciate y'all, too, for coming by and hanging out. Oh, and don't forget Kick, too. If you're watching me on Kick, follow me on Kick. Let's go. Hey, Sims a Roguelike, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping by the chat today. Welcome, welcome, everyone. All right, just making sure I don't miss any chats, but yeah. So it should be fairly relaxing. Now we are currently covered by one temporal gear, meaning I have one temporal gear, so our spawn is already set, but that's the last temporal gear that I have. Or, I'm sorry, that's the last life that I have attached to that particular gear, meaning once we die again, I'm going to have to use that second gear that we just looked at. Sorry, I hope that's not too confusing. All right, let's grab this little good. Damn it, he ran away as soon as I started aiming at him. Well, like I was saying too, maybe grabbing some of these horsetails is not a bad idea. It's a pretty open patch of it here. We don't have to go deep into the forest to grab this. It's almost as good as getting some juicy fox meat. Not quite, not quite. All right, let's see here, folks. Yes, I am super pumped for not only 1.22, but the new top server restart. I always mention it, but for anybody who's not aware, that's the official Vintage Stories server hosted by the developers. They call it Tops, and it's getting a full world restart in conjunction with the 1.22 release candidate. So it's going to be super exciting because that's like basically a permanent world. Like it has not had a world reset in years. I think the last one was 2023. And now they've said they don't plan on restarting this one again for at least, 4 or 5 years, at least. Maybe longer. But yeah, either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. My community and myself are going to be joining the world on day one, picking a spot somewhere on the server and building a little town. Okay, let's see. Let's put that away. Can't be without a knife here, people. I really need to start making bone handles, but I don't know. It's like bone only works for 2 different kinds of tools. So it's like I'm not going to carry an extra stack of bones just to make knives and axes with, because it's a very minimal durability bump. Hey, what's going on, Layden Buck? How you doing, my friend, Layden Buck? I've been considered a multiplayer Vintage Story. This would be a good time to start. Yeah, Private Info, I know you said you're going to be struggling with your job in the near future, but, I've got a Patreon, which we use a Discord server. It's a private benefit. It's a private Discord server benefit for my Patreons, but we'll be using that to communicate and coordinate with each other. But of course it is a public server, so you can certainly join and come hang out with us and stuff. But let's see. Okay, I'm getting a few bushes, getting basically everything but the pelts that I wanted. But the date for the reset is still up in the air. The thing we know is from a recent post on Discord, and they were saying it's going to happen sometime around the end of March, end of February, early March, and they're going to be trying to do the world reset in conjunction with the 1.22 release candidate. So, it's always subject to delays. I hate to say that, but it's true. If something comes up, if they struggle to get the rivers to work, we might see it delayed by a month. And I sincerely hope that's not the case, but I always feel it important to mention that just because, it's a fact of life. One thing I've learned about the developers of Vintage Story is they're very particular and they want to get things right too. They're not the type of studio to just push out updates willy-nilly. They don't do that, which is good. But what's going on, everybody? What's for dinner, sir? Anything we can catch here, my friend? The best part is the last time I had a problem cultivating the soil for vegetables, the hoe didn't work, and it turned out that was a PS mod. My character class is Commoner. I went with Commoner, Dickiefold, because we are playing with a mod called Seraph Leveling, which is a new mod to me. This is my first time trying it out. By the way, my mod list is down in the description of the YouTube live stream. But there's not many, just a few of them. But that basically choosing Commoner, since we have no traits, it'll allow us to kind of focus and see the traits that we pick up from that mod, essentially. So, Seraph Leveling, it's a very simple mod. You just gain traits, and you increase those traits by doing more of that skill. So, for mining, the more I mine, the more I get boosted on this hardy skill. Fleet-footed is another good example. The more we simply walk around and stuff, the faster we get over time. So it's a cool mod, and it just caught my eye when I was starting this stream. So, or the world, I should say. When I started the world, it caught my eye. Decided to try it out. Have not found a Pegasus yet, Shintaro. No, my friend. And welcome to the stream too, guys. This is the developer of the Pegasus mod with us today. What's up, buddy? It's great to talk with you again. But I'm not giving up. It's a wilderness survival world, as you're probably aware, and which just means as a consequence, we don't have a map, and it's much, much more difficult to navigate, so we can't go as far and wide, in this world as I'd like to, but I'm definitely keeping my eyes out, buddy. Yeah, that's another one we've got installed. So Shintaro here is the author of the Pegasus, of course, the Draconis mod, and also horses. They've got a mod for horses. Wonderful collection of mods. Really recommend them. And like I said, we've got one of theirs installed here today. And it's a flying mount, too, just so everybody's clear. If we find a Pegasus, we're going to tame it, and we'll have a flying mount, essentially. It's amazing. I've used the Drake mod before Draconis, and it is so much fun. It is the coolest thing in the world to be able to fly around in the world of Vintage Story and to see the world from the sky. It's amazing. All right, so I got more berries than anything else. I guess we'll just eat these because I don't have too much to go with them. All right, let's see. I don't know if I can get these bushes in the ground because we've got that stupid shiver out there, but let's just try it real quick. Put that in the offhand for you guys so we got a bit of light. All right. I actually don't care about these cranberry bushes. I kind of want to just toss them, but I'll just place them back here. Poor little cranberry bushes. Nobody loves them. They're so sour and bitter. I actually like cranberries in real life. Big fan of the craisins. Love a good craisin. All right, let's see. Ooh. Super fun getting faster as you go. Yeah, I think so. It would also be great. Hold on, let me grab some more of these berries so we fill up while I read. Oh, crap. Sims a roguelike. I've seen your video about speculation of 1.22 release and at the same time server reset. That's actually something they've stated officially on their Discord, Sims a roguelike. Yeah, if you go to the Discord down to the official public server has its own channel, go to the pinned messages for that particular channel, and you will see that that's like the latest message, is they say that they're waiting to do a world reset in conjunction with the 1.22 release candidate, and they speculate, it'll be 2 months after such and such time, which would be right around now, but we'll see. Like I said, things are always subject to potential delays and whatnot. Okay, just put down Earth. That's not what we want, people. That's what I thought that was. All right, we're panning. This is happening, people. Get ready. Y'all, watch out. If you got a heart condition, you might want to tune out of the stream right now, because we're about to go crazy. About to get wild. What's up, Tachyon? The blueberries just for the look, yeah. And cranberry bushes, they take time to spoil less. Oh, that's interesting. Panning, you know it, buddy. Hoping for one of those temporal gears. Let's put our food down here. That way everything we get will go right up at the top. Oh, I've got a shield, people. If we get a temporal gear tonight, we can check off another one of our goals. So big shout out to the commenter who recommended I do one of these like overlays. I've forgotten who it was, but yeah, it's a good idea. I'm going to be doing it for most of my streams going forward. Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Lovely pancakes forever in our hearts. I know. Sweet little pancake with extra syrup. All right, so we just got a copper arrowhead, piece of copper, blueberries, strawberries, anecdotal, but even in Kroger, I'm nervous. Oh, Rod. That's funny, dude. I mean, listen, out in the wild, if I was hiking and I stumbled across like a big old blueberry patch, I would definitely be careful. I'd be like, okay, there could be some big old bears around here. I've seen enough cartoons to know that this is true. Plus, Rod told me once. Going for some loot hero achievements with soothing HD voice in the background. Thanks, Tachyon. Oh my gosh, I shared a comment on one of my shorts. Somebody posted a comment about my voice. And believe it or not, it was not a flattering comment, but it was funny. I shared it on my Discord, though. You have to join the Patreon to see it, but no, I'm just kidding, but I appreciate everybody. I do love all my Patreons and stuff, and anybody who just comes by and tunes in for the streams, too, I love you as well. But bam, there is my Patreon link. If anybody, just give me a follow over there for free, too, because I do post a lot of my stuff for free quite often. If it's like a first episode on a new series, I'll usually post like the first episode free and then like dangle the rest of the episodes, in front of you for a paid subscription. Can you melt down things like copper arrowheads? I so much want to try that, Rajin. I'm not even sure. Typically, the process for something like this, if it was like an arrow or a different tool head, would not to be melted down, but would to be put it in the grid with your chisel, maybe even your hammer. But I don't think it works with arrowheads. Unfortunately, because I really like to be able to do that, quite honestly. And I know that there are mods that allow you to do that, but we're not currently playing with any of those mods at the moment. That's an excellent question that I've often wished. I think, unfortunately, arrowheads and spearheads cannot be broken down. I could be wrong about the spears. We'll have to test those, too, if we get any. Oh, there's a regular gear. Only black bear I've seen in the wild was eating blueberries. I've never seen a bear in the wild, but I've watched plenty of documentaries and just like home videos of people encountering them. I sure as hell wouldn't want to come across one. And I do love to spend time in the woods, too. If I ever get the opportunity to go to, like, really nice places or states that have great parks and stuff, I always like to spend time, but I don't think I've ever encountered anything, like, truly life-threatening in the wild. Maybe actually the worst thing I've probably ever encountered was copperhead snakes. Copperheads. Yeah, I've seen plenty of copperheads out in the Ozarks. And cottonmouths too, but usually the cottonmouths you see are in the lake or in the river. So they're, unless you're in the water with them, it's not too big of a threat. But copperheads, you step on one of those, like you're going through dry leaf litter in a forest, you won't see a copperhead because they look like dried leaves. Let's go. Let's go gambling panding. It is kind of like a slot machine, isn't it? Except there's no losing. I guess when you get if you were just getting nothing but andesite stone, then that would kind of be losing, wouldn't it? But we're guaranteed to get something better. You know what's funny is they have like the full loot table with all probabilities laid out for every single item that you can get from panning in both sand, gravel, and bony soil. It's funny because it's kind of like gambling. Uh-oh, we got somebody knocking at our door. A little drifter clipping through. What's up, drifty boy? All right, let's see. All the bears I've met in the wild in real life ran away as soon as they realized I was there. Yeah, I remember having a buddy who said he was go as a kid going to Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountains, with his dad, and they pulled over to pee on the side of the highway, and like across the highway and like down a big embankment, he saw a black bear, like a good football field away. And even when it saw him from that distance, like the black bear turned and just ran, when it saw him and his dad from the street or from the highway. So yeah, they're very skittish. You're right. You're right about it. Unless they're like specifically mating, or if it's like the Revenant and you get between like a mother and her cubs, oh, then you're screwed. Then you're Leonardo DiCaprio kind of screwed, people. Don't do that. Copperheads are common. So are puma. If you see a puma, resist the urge to boop it. I will, buddy. I will resist that urge. Quite thoroughly. I think it is also funny, just like how rare it is to like find natural lapis or any kind of gem, any kind of precious gem in this game. Good luck finding emeralds or lapis lazuli out in the wild just by like prospecting for it. I'm sure people have come across it, getting lucky, but you're not going to find this stuff. It's very, very rare. But if you're panning, oh, you're going to come across. You're going to have so much of it, you're going to be like, why do I keep getting this ridiculous stuff? Cubs mean climb. Get the hell out. That's right, dude. GTFO. Little babies. It's true, though. It's true for a mother. A human mother, I should say. You get between a mom and her cubs, or her children. You're done. You're done, boy. All right, let's go. We're switching to gravel, people. It's a little bit grittier, so prepare yourself. Trigger warning. It's gritty stuff. What's going on? Private info. I still want to call you Private Idaho. Where am I in the north? Oh, where I am in the north, most people treat bears like drunk uncles at weddings. Just don't talk to them. Just ignore them. Just be like, oh, yeah, that's our drunk uncle, the bear. Just don't feed him and don't talk to it. Don't make direct eye contact because they want to chit-chat with you. All right, hold on. Let's put some of this away. So I do have too much crap. We'll just start dropping it. Actually, I have some crates for those stones outside. Put that away. Put my sticks down here. All right, that's fine. Just need a little extra room. No big deal. Let's see, it's 2:21 in the morning. Once the sun comes up, what's our goal? Bronze anvil? Yeah, I think we'll get out there and just go searching for some bronze. We'll have to see. Maybe we can branch out to like some new areas that we haven't explored quite as much. Because we've got a couple of decent readings. I have an idea of where I want to go. But we're going to have to push out and explore a bit more, farther and wider. Who knows? Maybe we'll come across a Pegasus, people. So I don't want to get your hopes up, but you should get excited. The odds of seeing a big zoo cat in your backyard are low, but not zero. Happened to me a few years ago. That's crazy, Regine. I wonder where you live at, or just in general, if you don't mind sharing. Yeah, there's where I live here in Illinois. There's always like talk of cougars being like still around. Like I think they once existed in this part of the United States, but like they almost certainly don't anymore. But there's like urban legends of people seeing them and stuff around here. There's a lot of local schools that have like the cougar as their mascot and stuff. All right, let's see. Hey, what's going on there, Brian Maiden? What's going on, buddy? Dropping in. Thank God it's Friday. I feel you, my friends. We're here. We're hanging out in the vintage story world, and we're panning like crazy people. Is the Pegasus mod properly installed? Yeah, it is properly installed. Let's see. Cougars come into my town a lot here. Young males and get kicked out. Mom's territory always lurking. Yikes. That's kind of scary. That is a little bit scary. Oh, what? Did I do that? Oh, yeah. Now we're stuck in our own dirt block here. Gravel. All right. Panthers are that around. What's going on here? Oh, I'm not in water. Crap. All right, now we're in water. Yeah, thanks for coming by the stream, everybody. As you can see, I've got some new stream goals installed up here so we can just at a glance see what we're going to be working on today. Cougars American Horror Edition. They're really everywhere, just uninterested in people, just like Bigfoot. We have other nightmare deer and hares that eat the cobwebs and young buds from the trees. Well, it seems like eating the cobwebs would be a plus, but eating the buds would be a bad thing, right? Is that right? Did I nail that? All right, let's get this. I actually don't want this hole in our house. Big cats are ninjas. Damn right, little cats are ninjas too. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. They're ninja-like. Oh my gosh, everything is just crumbling around us. All right, 4 in the morning. Let's keep panning, people. We're not done. Brian Maiden, I think the only real wildcats we still have here in Virginia are bobcats, but some will tell you we have panthers. See, that's how it is in my area, too. I don't even think we have bobcats around here, but people will tell you that there are big cats. It's funny. People want to cling to that hope. I mean, beggar, not cobwebs. Oh, okay. Bobcats are so cute. I'd risk it, not gonna lie. I'm sure they're little babies, like their kittens are probably super cute. I don't know, a full-grown bobcat. I mean, it's a cat, so all cats do have like that feline aspect to them, which is an attractive thing. You know, the cats are very like fun to watch and they're cute, but I don't know. Bobcat, if I had to scale it, Bobcat would be like on the low tiers. No cute scale, Ron. I'm sorry. I'm just giving it to you straight, dude. They're down there with the hairless versions, too. All right? And listen, if you're a lover of bobcats and hairless versions and you're going to unsubscribe to me now, I get it. It makes sense because I just insulted your 2 favorite cats. So I get that. But not that cute if they stole your chickens. That's true. They would be your mortal enemy if you own chickens. Yeah, if I died by wild cat, just know my last words were, "Here, kitty, kitty." That's right. At least you go out petting something real cute. Cats are nature's jerks. They're nature's ninjas. I had a bobcat in my driveway. I tried to get her. Rod, quit chasing bobcats around. Damn it, I put the dirt down again. Bing. Excuse me, guys. All right. Ninja jerks. Let's see, it was really funny when I was given an assignment to write down my backyard's ecosystem. That is an interesting assignment. Let's see. Accurate ninjerks. I like that. So we did not get a temporal gear this morning. Well, I don't know. Our final block of gravel here isn't quite done yet. I got a bunch of other crap, though. Although this zinc is extremely helpful. We come across that precious bismuth, we're going to be real happy that we've got all this. Oops. Alright, so let's get up and sort our inventory out, and then we've got to get going, people. I don't have time to play around. I've got to find some copper making stuff. Alright, let's... And let me see, should I open these up too? Yeah, sure, why not? Alright. Bing. That away. Hold on, where are those at? I know that I've got there. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So we've got some healing. Put those away. I'm going to take the stones outside. Drop that off. That. Rammed Earth stays for nerd polling. All right, we're ready, nerds. Let's do it. Put the crude shield on the hotbar so I can switch it over. Let's put this back down. Didn't I already have a stack of peat somewhere? Am I just out of my mind? All right, let's go. I'm going to throw these spearheads into the lake. What's our instability? Apocalyptic. I just heard a what's it called out here? Yeah, a boat torn. Oh, look at my garden. Look at this beautiful greeneries. We got 6 or 7 carrots. All right, we got to move because that guy's trying to plunk me. Hold on, I want to drop these. Yeah. I'm trying to move south, people. We're going south. Let's do it. Wait, I didn't grab my pickaxes. Do I have a translocator to repair? No. I do. That we do know of one translocator, but temporal gear is just as a backup, really, for my respawns. All right, so we're going to head south for the most part. I did bring a bit of food. We've got some ladders. Oh, you know what I'm missing? I hate that. Oh. Go ahead, buddy. Take a shot. He hit me. You know what I need is some charcoal. So let's grab just a tiny little bit of that. I don't know if I've actually got any. What did I do with the charcoal? It might be that I've only got what's left in the pit out here, so we'll just grab a bit of this. We got to brave the stupid portal. 47 of 50 achievements for Loot Hero. Got 3 left. Tachyon, the legendary 100%er. Thanks for keeping us posted, buddy, on your progress. We don't need a lot of this, Jeff, just a couple pieces. When we go prospecting, of course, since we're playing on a wilderness survival map, I don't have the ability to, see what our prospecting results were. So we have to leave ourselves signs, essentially. All right, let's move. You know what? I'm going to grab some of these berries as we run, too. All right, let's go. Now, we've seen a bear in this general direction, so we do need to be somewhat careful. But, I didn't bring any fences with me. Probably should have. Just in case we come across another piglet over here. All right. I'm going to refrain from picking up the actual bushes. Hopefully we'll be coming back with some ore in our inventories, but I don't know. It's a tough one. You know what? Let's go ahead and take a sample right over here. Is this gravel or is this rock? Okay, perfect. We're looking at rock here, people. So, I only need 1 berry in the hotbar. Let's grab the legendary tin bronze pro pick. Time for some long-range sampling, people. Get excited. Does the mod add flying bears? Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus. I get you. Hey, listen. Our friend Shintaro, is very prolific, so you never know. You joke now, but you might see flying bears in an upcoming mod. I don't know. I can't speak for him. All I can tell you is they've come out with some pretty impressive stuff. Yeah, but the Draconis mod is a lot of fun. Okay, so we've got minuscule amounts of bismuth-nite. That's what we're really looking for. Or cassiterite would be great too, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can get. Like I said, I think the farther we go in this direction, the better chance we're going to have. I think the readings for bismuth go up, essentially is what I'm trying to say. Because we did, yeah, you can see like right here, I took a sample at one point. And I recall that we had, I think it was actually all the bronzes. We had readings for all of them in this direction, if I'm not mistaken. But of course, we are looking at apocalyptic rift activities, so we're probably going to want to, if we're not actively underground mining for stuff, then we're going to want to get out of here by nightfall. So this was, yeah, our copper mine, but copper's not an issue right now. Although if we do need more, that's not a bad place to look for more of it. And there's portals everywhere. But yeah, now we're on the banks of this river. And this is where we started to get some really promising readings for bronze stuff. It was like on the side of this mountain here. So I'm thinking if we follow it a bit. You know what? I didn't bring my map with me either. That was kind of stupid. I mean, at some point you got to just like navigate by dead reckoning, and just use landmarks and stuff, which maybe we should. Okay, I've got a landmark. It's not actually what that is, but let's do one of these. Okay. Boom. Yeah, at some point I just got to branch out and do a little exploring. Man up. Can't rely on the map constantly. All right, so there's another one of our pro pick readings. Tell you what, I'm actually kind of curious. Kind of curious about this side over here. You rarely find any ore in mountains? It's a good point. Yeah, because it's kind of too high up on the Z levels, isn't it? Let's swim over to this side. We got a nice little ruin right here. It's flat, so we can take a reading from like the ground level. I think Trombrona's holding back on more fish because he knows it'll be like butterflies. What's up, Ian Ogie? How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Thanks for dropping in again today. Saying hello. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. My streaming schedule is pinned in chat, so check that pinned comment. You'll see that I'm streaming again tomorrow here in this world. Unless, of course, we get like a new update. I'm definitely always ready to try out new stuff, new content, but most likely we'll be back here tomorrow. And then, of course, on Sunday, it's the legendary card survival tropical island stream. I'm not seeing much here except a bunch of sand, but you know what? I'll take the sand for more panning. Maybe we'll get lucky and find a little bony. Let's keep digging around here until we get enough bedrock exposed. We'll take a pro pick sample, too. Time for lunch. Vintage Story and ramen noodles. Delish, buddy. Delish. You doing the fancy ramen noodles, or you just like the instant stuff, like the quick and easy ones? I like the quick and easy ones you get from like the grocery store, but I like to throw in like a little bit of mixed veggies, even, some boneless, skinless chicken breast, cook that up a little bit before you add it in there. You can really jazz it up quite nicely. All right, so we're seeing some quartz. I thought I just saw some quartz down there, but it disappeared in one of the mini landslides we have around these parts. So let's see if we can get a couple samples here. Needs to be 3 away, which is like roughly here maybe. Wait, what? Oh, it's not far enough. We'll do this one. Watch the whole desert fall down. Yeah, calm down. All right, we'll come over here maybe to this one. That's sand. That might be too far. Oh, I'm sorry, Krav. Unfortunately, I don't have that set up at the moment. My mods list is on the YouTube side of things, though, buddy. If you click on the YouTube link from my Twitch page, you should be able to find that in the description of the video. But we've got a short list of mods. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. All right, now hold on a second. Let me look at this again. Bismuth, very poor. Magnetite over here. Decent copper. I mean, it wouldn't turn my nose up at more copper. If we found some, I'd be okay with that. Let's go over this direction. Maybe take another sample. Might even stumble across some surface copper if we get super lucky. But let's go. Yeah, sorry about that, Crab. I do need to set that up, buddy. That's going to be my goal now. I'll make that my goal to get that working. Appreciate you coming by, though. Stopping in. All right, let's see. Don't want to get too far from our landmarks either, you know, without making another one, obviously. Yeah, we've got no map to navigate here, people. This looks like an interesting spot. This could be a good place to take a reading right here. Yeah, I like this spot. Let's look around for a second. Any copper just sitting around? All right, yeah, let's dig in and take a pro pick sample. Right over here somewhere. Gonna need to make another shovel. No, I don't have the guns mod, buddy. I think that's part of like the combat overhaul. Actually, I think it is technically separate, but no, I don't have that one. I've used it in the past, and it's an interesting mod, no doubt about it. Ads are finally done, hallelujah. Oh, I'm sorry, getting some ads over there on Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is notorious for their ads. They like to lay them on thick, but I appreciate you coming in and tolerating the ads just to hang out. But I hope everybody's doing well today. Weather's starting to improve where I'm at. It's getting much more warm and sunny, and I'm ready for it too. We had a pretty brutal winter. It was short though, short but brutal. All right, let's knock out another shovel. We'll get these readings taken. I'm a little hesitant to just start dropping mining shafts here until we get like a really good reading. Because what am I doing? Because ladders have been not hard to get. It's just, you know, I hate collecting sticks constantly. All right. Yeah, when I played with the guns mod, I was actually doing my dinosaur playthrough. So I had a bunch of dinosaur mods installed. Unfortunately, those mods are currently out of date. They're not functioning properly. But that was one playthrough that I really enjoyed. It's up, of course, on my YouTube channel. If anybody wants to watch like a little bit of an older series, but it was a good one. Lots of fun. What's up, Mattis? How's it going, buddy? Thanks for dropping in and saying hello. The fastest napper in the West, you gotta be. You get practice at it. Alright, let's try. Is this far enough? Probably not. One more, damn it. Okay. We'll dig in. Wind is whipping up, people. I'm so tempted to just set out in one direction, just keep going, never turn back, just explore to my heart's content. But we can't do that. We can't abandon our homestead. Alright, this probably should be good. The dinosaurs are the only thing that truly balance out the guns. I agree with you. Decent bismuth. No way. Now, like I was saying, I'm really hesitant to drop a shaft unless we get a decent reading. Well, I wasn't lying, and we literally just did, people. Let's go. All right, so we're going to put our pickaxe to use. Last bowl of porridge. We're going below. I could try and zero in, maybe attempt to get like a slightly better reading. Like maybe over here. Let's do that, actually. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to mark this, even though we're probably coming right back. But just because I have such a terrible memory, and I will forget if we get distracted or something, at least now this way we'll be able to return to this. Boom. Yeah, because again, I got to stress that without a map, you know, there's no way for me to correlate these readings that we're getting to a place unless I physically put a landmark or a sign here. So, all right, let's pop over here, just see if we get like very good, then we'll drop our shaft on this side, but probably just going to go right back there. And the good news is I can reclaim that sign and put it somewhere else. And we don't have to go super far. Let's grab. I'm kind of hoping we get some more copper, to be honest. Grab some of these berries. The guns, I feel like, need iron to be safe to use, otherwise they go boom in your face. Not the dinos, that's true. Bismuth shaft sounds like a new wave. Bits with bronze, here we come, hopefully. Alright, let's see how it goes over here. Is this far enough away? Oh, yeah, that's good enough. You guys see anything interesting over here? I see a little bit of rye or something growing right there. All right, let's dig in. This is it, people. We're zeroing in on that bronze. We're going to check off another one of the stream goals today. I'm super pumped. I'm just glad to make some progress. Overall, the goal for this world would be to get up to the Iron Age. Once we do that, I think we're going to seriously attempt to find a Pegasus. Yeah, because that'll be amazing. That'll just liberate us so much. Allow us to explore the world so much more once we get a flying mount. Oh, yeah. All right. It's going to need to be a little bit longer. And, of course, we've got, as you can see, sideways instability for dirt and gravel, too. Basically, in this world, it's all default wilderness survival settings. Except I tweaked a couple of things, like the length of day, the month is a little bit longer. Pegasus, then the archive. No, that would be a perfect way to actually find the archives, would be on a Pegasus. Shintaro. They spawn in similar areas to those black and white goats. Okay, the Valius goats. You know what? Thank you so much for sharing that tip, Shintaro, because I think we've seen some of those goats. That's a beautiful suggestion, buddy. All right, I'm glad you're still with us, too. Thanks for hanging out today, coming by the stream. Appreciate you and your hard work. All right, so let's knock out these samples. Probably still need a bit more space here. It's 3 between them. Flying is faster and easier. And, if worse comes to worse, we just set up a new house, As long as we got our flying mount with us. The world is our oyster. We can just live wherever we want. Hi, Bismuth. Okay. So, success. We did discover a higher reading than decent. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to reinforce this a little bit so I don't get myself killed getting up and out of here. Let's go ahead and place a little landmarker. This is going to be our current Bismuth. I'll either leave that sign or just go grab it and replace it. Okay, and yeah, let's do it. Let's get our hotbar situated here. Don't need that now. Need my stack of ladders, like that. That's how I like to do it. All right, people, we're going below. I wish I had a chest or something to leave here, but sorry, I'm getting a little sinuses. Hold on, guys. Okay, sorry, let's see. I swear these falling sands and gravels just auto aims to you. I know. It could be a little annoying, but I've gotten used to it now, playing it for a bit. I enjoy it. I think that in the future, it's going to be an adjustment now in the other way for me. In other words, I've played it long enough that I'm going to be going onto the top server once they finally reset that and playing without it. I'm going to be waiting for the soil to fall in, but it won't. So yeah, it's funny I can get used to something which at first seems like such a big deal. Now it's just oh yeah, it's going to come right at me. Let's see. Can always leave the other sign for when you need more. That's true. Yeah, no, yeah. There could be more over there too. All right. Yeah, signs aren't too bad. Pretty easy to make. Now let's do one thing. This is a tip that I always give to people, and of course it was taught to me too. But if you're not sure, just look up the ore in its parent stone. And we want to make sure, that bismuth will actually spawn in the stone that we're digging in, which is andesite. Some of them don't. Some ores just don't spawn in certain stones. Some stone types spawn almost no ore, which is something I recently learned, that bauxite, the red stone that you need for steel production, that one is known to have 0 ore spawn in it, which is weird. I was shocked. I was taking ProPic readings in a biome that was all bauxite. I was getting no ore readings. I thought it was bizarre. Apparently that's normal. All right. How deep? I don't know how deep we are. We'll take a quick short range sample here. Let's go down one more. Boom. All right, people, this is it. Wish me luck here. We're hoping to get some short-range readings so we can really zero in and find this stuff. All right, so switch it to short. Let's do it. Bauxite, only flint. That's right. Yeah, I guess if you count flint, 100%. Oh, look at that. Bismuth and medium amounts on the short range, people. That's huge. So I'm still going to go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch that with that. All right, so that one indicates the best readings so far. We're still going to try in each one of the cardinal directions just to see if we get a better reading than medium. Because we should eventually. Well, that one says trace amount, so we don't want to go in that direction. Let's just put like a low fertility there. You gotta get creative. When you don't have a map and the easy access to markers and stuff, you gotta get creative. Okay, trace amounts in that direction. Looks like we might be going that way, but let's just confirm it. I like to do one in each of the 4 cardinals. But yeah, thanks so much everybody for hanging out with me. We're going to be right back here tomorrow, streaming in the same world, hopefully. Trace amounts. Oh, okay. So let's dig this out. And we'll just start digging in. See if we can locate anything worthwhile. Now, bismuth should be pretty easy to find, visually, I mean. Yeah, if we spot it. Some ores are very, very hard in certain stones. Like, I'm thinking of zinc in granite. Oh, my God. It's almost impossible. Hey, what's going on, Hunter Matthew? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping in. Andy's here. Apologies for the lapse there. I had children to speak with. No problem, Andy. I'm glad you could come by, buddy, and say hello. We're on the hunt for some bismuth, people. Zinc is very difficult in nearly every stone. Yeah, it's very small. Like, it's just a couple little specks here and there. All right, let's try another quick short range. I think we've gone far enough to see. Okay, we're still at medium amounts. Let's drop that. So that's where I took my medium amount reading. Now, don't forget, too, guys, in addition to soil instability, I've got stone instability. See this? So I can't start, like, strip mining this. If we go too wide, more than too wide, we will start to see cave-ins, which can be fatal. But I am going to branch off occasionally and just, like, dig these little side tunnels briefly. See if we just get lucky. Maybe we'll even go up a level. Like that, and down a level, just to see if we're maybe a little bit off on the z-axis. Yeah, it is just black dots. Little suggestion for stone stability: always break the top stone first. Okay, interesting. Gotcha. Start from the top down, people. Thanks for coming in, Andy. Hanging out again today, buddy. My first stream with my list of goals on it. It's quite an achievement for me. Now, but I'm happy to try something new here. All right, just peeking around, just digging in, looking for that elusive bismuth. Good news is, if we find a strike, I have a feeling we'll probably be able to get right into making a bronze anvil with it. I hope. We'll see just about the ratios, but bismuth is a small deposit ore. Most probably medium is the max you're going to get. Understood. Thanks, Ben. That's good. That's a good insight. All right. Well, I feel like we're not going anywhere here. Let's just take a sample at this distance or at this direction. See what happens. Yeah, short range, exactly, Rod. Nope, we've gone past it. So let's do that and that. Keep going. It's easy for me to get lost above ground. It's also easy to get lost below ground, too. So I like to, block off these tunnels. All right, let's Let's take out a few ceiling pieces. We'll take another short range here in a moment. Take out some floors too. Oh man, people, we're hot on the trail. You know, the most critical thing to have when you come out here is patience. That's it, really. It sounds cliched, but it's so true. Because you don't know how many times I've been like, oh, I want to just give up. But, push myself through, and that's when you find it. All right, so, of course, food is going to be our limiting factor here today. At least for this current dive, because we've got a decent pro pick and a decent regular pick in terms of durability. So yeah, because I'm literally eating the last of my food right this moment. All right, we got 10 berries left, so let's make the most of it. Let's take a short range, see what happens. Pennsylvania had in February the masochist niche. Trace amounts. Okay, we've gone a little too far. So let's block that off. Go over in this direction, I guess. We'll take out the ceiling, floor. Come on, baby, give me some of this precious, precious bismuth. So we got a high reading on our long range, and currently we're on the trail of a medium short range. Just see how this goes. Yeah, and I say that we've got enough durability on the pick here, but, well, to be honest, it goes pretty quickly, not gonna lie. Although we are leveling up our mining speed, so we're at plus 8% now, baby, let's go. The more we do, the better we get. Practice makes perfect. My dad used to say that all the time. All right, do we dare take another short range? What do you have your range set to? It's set to 6. Set to 6 for short range. Large amounts, baby. All right, we're hot on the trail. We're hot on the trail. So there's that to the left. Let's do it. Now is when I would love to start strip mining. Stupidly, I did not bring any of the beams that we'll need. I probably could shore it up with ladders, but that's a hell of a waste of ladder. I'm not sure what's up with the way it's reading and its spawn, but we'll see. We'll see. Could get lucky, and it could just be an unnaturally large vein of bismuth. I have found bismuth veins that are surprisingly extensive, So we could just be lucking out here, but, well, we haven't got lucky yet, right? Here I'm digging from the bottom down. Or from the bottom up, that's a mistake, Andy. It's the wrong way to do it. Private info. Can you not leave single block pillars as support? I've used pillars before. And I guess we could use maybe fencing. The thing is with using pillars or fences like this is it's not guaranteed. It's not perfect. And I don't want to risk dying. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's just try something like this. Let's just test this. So that's at 16. See, it doesn't actively change the stability on it, whereas like a beam, if I put like a ceiling beam there, it would literally bring it down. That actually does. Backfilling it with dirt blocks, the rammed earth, did reduce stability. So pillars of rammed earth will seem to work, but the fence is not a bad idea, Andy. But got you up in the secondary mountain. Oh no, buddy, I was just goofing around because I was digging from the bottom up, and I said that's a mistake, right, Andy? No worries, though, buddy. You're good. Keep doing what you're doing. What are you up to, Andy? You working on Meteoric Steel or playing something? Playing on your multiplayer server with lag? Yeah, I do want to start to like branch out here, extend this mine a little bit. Honestly, I don't think that 2x2, or not 2x2, but like a 2 wide hallway is going to cause us too much problem. Oh, I lied. Yeah, I lied. It will. So let's take that out. Doot. We'll just go over in this direction. Not a big deal. We're just digging around. Digging a little hole like a mole. Yeah, see, as long as it stays at 16.7, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not fine. I'm not fine, people. I am not fine. I knew that was a stupid dig right there. Well, to be honest, sometimes that's the way you find it, though. You know, just bring half the mountain down, and the bismuth just appears. It's just there all of a sudden. It's the only thing left. I don't see any bismuth up there. It's because you said you were fine. Jinxed myself. I don't even believe in jinxes either. Well, did I maybe go too far? Let's see. No, the high reading I took was like right around here. Yeah, we haven't gone that far. Let's keep looking. Don't give up. Down? Yeah, Ben, down might be the way to go, buddy. Let's go down. Ben says down. I say yes. Yeah, because we can go down without fear of, like, you know, cave-ins. As long as I don't go left or right. Just don't go left or right, people. No, we don't go super deep, because if it's more than 6 blocks below my reading, then it's invalidated, essentially. But it could be down here. Could be up, too. Could be up. Now, wait a second. This might cause a problem. We'll just backfill it. I don't believe in jinxes, but I do believe in ironic humor. I love it. There you go, buddy. Agreed. All right. Yeah, look at my my regular pick. It's down to 50%, guys. Well, I'm just gonna backfill because I don't want this to collapse if we actually dig over the top of it. It was a good idea going down. What I think we'll do now is go up maybe a little bit. Just what I needed. Another fun work distraction. What's up, my friend? Elements Music, California. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Thanks so much for dropping in again, saying hello. We're currently in the 1.21 stable wilderness survival world, and we're on the hunt for bismuth. We've got a high reading here. So we're desperately trying to get ourselves, essentially what I need is a bronze anvil. Because I do already have a nice reading on some iron. I think it's actually our best reading has been magnetite, but technically, but either way, yeah. Can't do much with the iron until we get that bronze anvil. So here we are. All right, let's just take a pro pick here. I feel like I've gone too far at this point. Yeah, see, we're at trace now. Well, we're getting farther away from our large strike. So this is about where we took that reading. Let's dig into the sides then. Oh, that's the wrong tool. Oh boy, people. It's not fair. It's just an unfair world. Why can't the bismuth just jump right into my lap like a fish? Some fish do that, people. All right. Yep. Food might actually be that factor. Food might be the factor. Let's make some fences. Oh, it's going to be nighttime too, and we're sitting on top of apocalyptic levels. Oh no, it's actually calm. Never mind. Changed over. We're totally good now. We could walk home in the calm atmosphere. Don't have to worry. Fill up our bellies because we're not going home yet, people. We're not quite done. I've still got a handful of berries on me. Those crazy Asian carps. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Private info, yep. Because they're just so plentiful and I don't know. I guess they like to jump. Carp like to jump a lot. All right. Yeah, that's deep enough to take a new reading. It says calm now, and then we see the infamous an X-temporal storm is approaching. Yeah, no kidding. Trace amounts in that direction. Bing, bing. We block it off. We'll go over here. I'm not giving up, people. Nothing will dissuade me from trying for this bronze. Let's actually use another one of these. So, good news is that I was able, if you guys missed some of the earlier live streams, I was able to find some tin ore. So I have, I think, 4 pieces of cassiterite left. So in other words, when this tool breaks here, we will be able to replace it with another tin bronze. So we're not like in dire straits right now. But if we don't find this bronze, eventually we are going to start to get in trouble. All right, let's take another sample. I have a feeling it's going to be diminished again. Man, I don't know where this stuff is at. Trace amounts. Well, so hold on, let me take like a reading from up here. Don't follow me. Okay, that said trace amounts too. I must have gone too far. Large amounts. Yeah, it must be below or above right where I found it. So it goes trace over to here. It is like past that, it's trace. But here, it's large. So yeah, I just literally went a little bit too far in, didn't I? We really should be digging around here. And I don't think it would be above us at this point. Because remember, like you asked, my pro pick is set to 6 on short range. So, hey, Kenny's here. What's up, Ken? How's it going, buddy? Good morning to you, my friend. We're on the hunt for bismuth, buddy. We've got some high readings here. And, of course, we're trying to break into the bronze. Oh, yes, Kenny. Bro. Dude, we've been searching for this stuff for the past 15 minutes, dude. And our man Kenny brings us all the luck in the world. Come here, Kenny. Let me give you a big kiss. Oh, yeah. Let's go, people. All right, so I got to be able to get in and out of here. But let's go ahead and complete this pillar. Have a little stability. Kenny is the lucky one. What's up? Was it a rich vein, too? I didn't even notice. Rich quality. Let's go. Good eyeballs, Private. He shoots, he scores. Everybody, give a big shout out to Kenny. All right. Let's go. No, you guys were all good luck today. Thanks to you guys and your helpful tips, we found it. So now the hard part's going to be getting it out of here without collapsing everything on top of us. Oh, man, I really should go home and get some beams. I'm not even lying. Where are we exactly? Now, it's midnight. Let's not go above ground. Let's dig this out. Yeah, now the question is going to be, do we have enough zinc back at home? Either beams or instantly backfill broken blocks. Yeah. See, because look, it's immediately branching off. We can do a 1 branch, you know, as we've seen, we can go 1 over without stability being too crazy, but we do want to be extremely careful here. And of course, we can always come back, you know. If I get just like a stack of bismuth, we'll be good. That'll be enough. And we can just return with beams and further excavate as we need. So yeah, we'll just fill up whatever we can safely. No reason to risk dying here, you know. We can return. Oh, but I appreciate you guys. Ladder should work. It's probably small. Yeah. So I'm worried about branching off here. So let's backfill this. I did get enough sand and gravel to take home so we can pan, certainly. We're not going to be short of any material for panning. That's dang sure. All right, let's do that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill that in. We're looking at 0% instability there. Let's take that out. And let's go for that. Okay, beautiful. We're looking at 0% instability there. And that should come out. Nice. Okay. Let's pop that guy there. Actually, I don't know. That wasn't that smart. Okay. We're fine, we're fine. Actually, I think from this way we could probably dig it out, because this is officially a 1-by tunnel now, all on its own, essentially. Yeah, that works, that works. Okay, let's block that corridor. Let's grab this. You can also use rammed earth on some of the out branches. Yeah, that seems to be working pretty good to stabilize it. Yanogi. If not mistaken, bismuth bronze is 10 to 20 bismuth, so get 10 ingots. You're going to want 200 units. Anything is just extra. Anything more is extra. I don't mind having extra. We definitely will need extra. Oh, dang. I'll hit my 20 stream in a row streak tomorrow. Let's go, Kenny. Well, I'll make sure that you get the message tomorrow for sure, buddy. Thanks for being such a great viewer and follower and supporter, dude. Really appreciate you. Hey, Raven's here. What's up? Revolution time. Let's go, comrade. We're ready, buddy. We're going to start the revolution in full bronze, full bismuth bronze, bro, because we've got it. We have discovered the rich strike. I might be able to just get all this. It actually doesn't seem like it was incredibly... I'm out of dirt. We'll come back. We'll come back. So it's 2:15 in the morning. I've got no food, and I've got an armload full of bismuth ore, so let's get home. Let's go. W. Kenny, that's right. Viva la revolution. Would it stabilize if you put sand there? That's not a bad idea. I don't know. But we're already halfway out of here, so now I gotta be careful. I might have to pay attention as I navigate here, people, so I might miss a chat message or two, but I don't want to get lost in this area. Alright, so yeah, we know our bismuth is here. The river home is here. Which direction was it? It was back this direction. Right, where's my... Well, just cross the river real quick, because I know it was on this side, right? Don't want to douse my torches, but we'll have those out here in a second. All right. Boom. Uh-huh. Back this direction, right? I think. I should have come out here in the daytime. No, we don't have a map, and I forgot to bring it with me. Actually, I think I'm going the wrong direction now. See, this is my problem. I start to second guess myself. Okay. Starting to starve. Yeah, here was our one reading, the medium reading. Okay. I know where we're at now. We're fine, everybody. Don't freak out. Actually, I'm telling myself right now. I'm reassuring myself. Yeah, so we branched off. Yep, we got to go into the river one more time. There's those ruins that we looked at when we first came over here, but let's dive in. We're fine. 25% like ratio. That's right. Hit that like button, everybody. Please do. Yep. Appreciate you guys. Also, if you're new, make sure you sub to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitch and Kick. All right, let's do it. And of course, the pinned comment in my chat is going to be my streaming schedule for the rest of the week. And I do update that every week, so make sure you hit that notification bell. All right, so yep, we're on the way home, people. No need to worry. I know exactly where we're at. We got food waiting. Oh, man, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Actually, we might be able to harvest some of our veggies in the morning. We'll see, we'll see. Yeah, no critters. I don't have any dirt with me. Maybe we could tower up using ladders. That's possible. But then again, bears can climb ladders, can't they? Oh my god. Can you imagine me trying to tower up using a ladder only for to have like the animal actually follow me up? Let's see. Kickstream sounds dirty, don't know why. Yeah, Kick's got that reputation. We got that piglet there, but let's not stop till we get some food in our belly. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? Immature. Immature, just like me. Then why jump in? Whoa. Yeah, well, I don't want to walk. I will definitely run, but jumping I should avoid. No, not going to lie. All right, so we made it home, people. Don't worry about it. Ah, look at that. Got a nice little last-minute snacky poo. Delicious. All right, folks, let's go. So we've made it home with an armload full of biz. Put that down. Put that down. So. Now, I think before night falls, let's do a couple of things real fast. Let me just stack that off. Okay. We're going to come out here and put away some of the excess crap that I've got. Granite. Stone. Fences. All right, beautiful. Let's come over here and retrieve our charcoal. In the morning, we're definitely going to need to refill this and start this again. 100%. Yeah, you know what? My shovel's probably going to break. Okay, new shovel, ready to go. Boom. I probably should have started some food, but we'll just get this out of the ground. Then we'll go get food going. If the bear climbs your ladder, jump and run. He's slower climbing down. Rod's got a plan. It's almost like Rod has envisioned this moment ahead of time. Me getting chased up a ladder by a bear. How dare you, Rod? How dare you think of it? No, but good plan, my friend. Good thinking. What? I just had a sideways instability with my charcoal, and it hurt me. Caused me an injury. Oh, what's going on, folks? Let's see here. All right, yep, we've achieved 2 of 3 goals, and I have a feeling we are on the cusp of the 3rd goal right now, folks. So I'm pretty pumped. Let's just see if we can do this. Let's go look at our ratios. But first, let's see if we got any food. Now there's going to be a bear because he thought of it. 3 of 5. 8 of 9. 3 of 5. 6 of 7. Oh, nope. Nothing yet. Nothing quite yet. Right? 8 of 9. We're on the cusp, though, people. I mean, I might need to make a few more storage vessels, to be honest. Because we are going to end up with a whole mess of grain here shortly. All right, let's close it up. It is the middle of the day, but we've got work to do, people. We've got a lot of stuff to do. So let's grab those and that. You know what? I need to pour out another hammer mold. Okay, we're good. Let's grab all of the metal. Oh, I've only got 2 cassiterite left. Boy, oh boy. We'll just grab that too. I don't have any silver, so we'll leave the gold. I've got my stuff. All right, let's do this. Didn't even notice the stream goal in the corner. You like that, Revan? That is new, buddy. I just added it today before the stream. It was recommended by one of the chatters. I can't remember who recommended it exactly, but it was a great suggestion. Hey, what's up, Patrick Thompson? So I've got this going now, and we can update it in real time. So if you guys think of another goal you want me to add on there, I can do that, you know, and we can check these off as we go. All right, so let's smash this. Okay. So we got 80 bismuth. Now the question is, what do we need for saphir or for zinc? I've forgotten the ratio. Why is it not showing me the ratio here? I have to play around with bismuth bronze ingot. Didn't it used to show the ratios for these ingots? Or do I need the guide? I swear that... There we go. No, it's not showing it. What the hell? I swear to God, it used to have the ratios listed here. Did they take that out? Or am I just crazy? Well, let's see. I remember Christopher Arlington. All right. Let's see if we can get this figured out here. I know I've got everything I need. I just don't know how much. Tempted to go ahead and make a hammer real quick. Let's pour out a hammer real fast. So we'll get this going. 10, 20, 70. Oh, it's the bits. It's the bits. It's the bits, people. There it is. Yep, good call. Good call, my friend. Guile Bittencourt. I can't read your name, but I appreciate you. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, 100%. It's weird it's with the bits and not the ingot, but I get you. I get you. Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Appreciate your offer to Google it for me, buddy. I thought it was in the handbook. Yeah, so essentially we do need the most out of copper, the medium for zinc. We might have to either start panning. I mean, we've been panning every night. I might just have to steadily do nothing but pan. Because, of course, the goal is to get 900 units, enough to fill up this guy, the anvil. And I don't think that 19 is enough. Yeah, I feel like that's not going to be anywhere near enough. We'll see what we can get out of it. I'll stick it in the crucible once we get this copper laid out. Oh, let's make some food. All right, so there's nothing in the cooking pot. Boom. 20 hours. No? Wait. Yeah, that's fine. Bismuth Brown Ansville, you're spoiling to sell me. Man, we gotta have it. We need it. I can't do anything with iron without it, you know? You literally made a tutorial to make black bronze? I did make a short, yeah. What's your point? Alright, let's see. Put that away. I do need to dig up some more soil. Let's take a moment to do that. Here we go. And we're starving again. Yeah, we do kind of need to hunt. Getting a little bit of food. I dug this stupid trench and nothing's ever been caught in it. And I've never tried to chase anything over here, so that's something I definitely need to do. Alright, here we go, here we go. A little bit of this. Okay, we're ready. Grab it, pour it. Just want to have a ready backup hammer. For 10 bismuth brown ingots. Okay. So I actually need a little bit less than 10. We need 900, which would be 9 ingots total worth. So that is helpful. So then essentially I just need 30 Saphirite, if I'm not mistaken, based on what your comment says there. And if my math is right, which it's usually not. But yeah, that's going to be doable for panning. In other words, I don't think we need to go spend a bunch of time digging. Can I get out of here? Yeah. As much as I love to mine, I think we'll probably be panning for this. But what's up, Raven? Raven's over on Kick. What's happening, buddy? Thank you for being one of my first Kick followers, bro. Appreciate you. You and Kenny. All right, so we got one bowl of mushroom stew. Yeah, we're going to have to actually go hunting today, but I'm up for that. What do you guys? You guys up for a little hunt where we actually kill some stuff? But first, let's set this up. So let me just look here. What was the ratio? 140. I love it. So that's another 12. Excellente. Now I'll need 20 of the biz. A bam. And of course, yeah, once we get 11 more Saphir Light, we can do that. So let's put this stuff away. And we are most definitely going to return here and do some panning. But first things first, like I said, we've got more important stuff to get to. Basic survival needs must be filled. All right, put that away, drop that off, put that on the ground. All right, I'm also going to cut some trees down too so that we can get more charcoal going. Let me grab that axe. All right, let's grab our spears. Pick it up. Beautiful. Grab that other axe there too. All right, we're loaded. Let's go, people. Hey, Mediocre Sim Guide. Thanks for following on Quick Kick, buddy. Appreciate that. Yep, just started on the Kick. This is my second live stream on the platform, but you know, figured I got to branch out and try all different spots. But Private Info says, I wish the wiki would give numbers for 900 instead of 10. You know, it actually, you're 100% right. It's funny that they do, because as far as I know, there's like nothing that actually takes 10, except unless you're dealing with like 10 ingots, like you said. But yeah, 9 is really the magic number when it comes to the anvil. But appreciate your help, though. It was still very helpful putting those numbers up there, buddy, because I was able to just essentially subtract, you know, 1 from each 1 bar's total. But hey, what's up, Toad Swish? Welcome, bro. Thanks for coming in. If time and Vintage Story is a suggestion, why not Space Rod? How the Crucible does, but it contains an anvil. Yeah, time and space. You can essentially think like once you put something inside the crucible, it enters like its own dimensional pocket, essentially. All right, let's keep eating as we travel. So we're out here hunting, looking for. I would love to kill a deer. Oh, you know what? Let's actually return real quick. We're gonna grab a stack of fences, so that if we do come across some interesting pigs or goats. Yeah, we're going to try and capture them. All right, backtrack. Not far. Just eating berries like I'm a noob. Like I'm a first level player. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to everybody who likes berries. Let's go. Hammer Space and Looney Tunes. That's right. Looney Tunes physics does apply here. Does 100%. All right, what are we doing? Find a dang deer. Oh, I saw something. I saw a deer. Berries over to my right, but that's a rabbit. Or no, it's a raccoon, damn it. I'll still take it because they have pelts. We're really here for food, but also we need some of those pelts, don't we, Rod? Make some of that good armor. Where'd he go? I was told that we can actually outrun these guys. Yeah, I can just attack this dude straight up. Come here, coward. Right, we just outrun the raccoons. Right, give me a pelt and some fat. That's not bad. Definitely take these too. Speaking of berries, what's your favorite kind of berry? It's definitely a toss-up between strawberries and blueberries. I love both. You know, strawberries probably would beat out blueberries, though. I prefer to my blueberries just like fresh. You know, I like blueberry muffins and pancakes, but I could have any form of strawberries. You know what I mean? I love them. So yeah, probably the strawberry. Berries are overrated. Real mini termites. Raccoons aren't bad eating. Pretty common dish here in the South. I believe it. Termites would be cool, but we're 20k blocks from north of there. That's true. Men eat termites, but real men eat wood that they eat. Blueberry. Okay. We do have the zoom button, so I should take advantage of this great mod here. See if there's any wildlife. Okay, more raccoons. It's crazy. When I'm not looking for deer, I seem to always I'm stumbling over them. But when I go out actually looking for big game, never see any. Well, it is definitely berry season, though. Yeah, if we need raspberries, we know where to go. Right over here. And there's peat there. There's peat there. I'm pretty sure there's some peat behind me, too. This is a peat-filled world. Although we did struggle finding much ore. It's getting rainy over here. Losing visibility. Should probably keep that dirt in my hand, too, for towering up. Gotta say it's blackberries. That's awesome. Blackberries are good. Just like real life hunting. Yep, I only find squirrels in deer season and deer in squirrel season. That's right. It is just like real life, isn't it? Super common. Okay. So grab some of these. Okay, well, that's annoying, but I'm just going to leave them. Oh, yeah, now it's when, visibility becomes so poor that this is just not great hunting ground. There's a lot of rain in this part of the world, which is good, but it's also kind of annoying. It's alright, we're on the lookout. I mean, might not come home with too much in the way of meat, but definitely going to come home with a bunch of berries. This looks like T-Rex territory. It does, actually. If we were playing with the dino mods right now, I would be super nervous, bros. I'd be very scared. In fact, I'm a little bit nervous about getting lost. Where's my nearest landmark? Oh, so this shows off a problem I had. I forgot to mention this. Yeah, we're not too far from home, but the rain is making me nervous. But so I accidentally loaded this world up into my 1.22 pre-3. No, it's not a mod issue, VV. It's a good guess, but welcome to the stream too, buddy. Yeah, normally you would think that is what you would see with the mod issue, but believe it or not, that's from loading this world accidentally into my pre-3 build. And of course, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, the pre-3 build makes significant changes to ladders. There's a whole bunch of new ladder types and stuff. So when I loaded this world into the pre-3 build, it broke all the old ladders in the world. And that's what these are. That's why if we look, it'll skip a block. Whoa, shit. Yeah, I gotta be careful. So yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna see those pop up from time to time. But just be careful, you know. If you're doing like I'm doing and switching back and forth, there are definitely consequences to loading up an old world in the pre-release version. And they warn you, you know, it's in the download notes. Like they say, don't load up an old world. And that's the reason right there. But it was an accident. And I don't think it like fully corrupted the world or anything. So I think we're still pretty good to keep playing. Alright, where did that rabbit go? Where did he go? He just freaking disappeared. Oh, there he is. Alright, bro, just stop. You know, I'm getting a little bit far, but we do have a landmark right there behind us. I don't know where he went to again. Playing God has consequences. So true. So true. I kind of want to chase this guy back. Oh, is it going to start hailing? Yeah, it is starting to hail. Okay, we definitely got to get back now. Aha! I hate you. Oh, got him. Alright. Did not think I was going to get that one. Populous. I played Populous in the old days, buddy. That's a good one, for sure. Very fun game. Actually, you know, I think I bought the remastered version of it on Steam, too, a couple years back, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yeah, we're back in home territory, but we could still potentially find something to hunt. It's only 2 p.m. Let's keep looking around. Now, the good news is I've gotten 2 raw hides, and I do have the fat back home to process those, but I'd like to get a bigger pelt and more fat. Oh, that's a deer, I think. I think that was a deer. Oh, no, it's another rabbit. And I lost sight of it. Now I found mushrooms. Oh, you know, we were actually getting the pelts together to make some armor. Some of the better, like, armor. It's not the greatest, but it's better than what we've got. Although a sling is not a bad idea. I do have multiplayer recipe exclusivity turned off, so we could very well build that. I've lost this rabbit. Cops are coming for you. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I appear to have lost the rabbit. Maybe we can flush him back out. Where'd you go, rabbit? We haven't seen too many deers, and bears. I haven't seen too many bears, and very few wolves in this world, which is good. Listen, I'm not complaining, but it is a fact. There haven't been many. Couple here and there, but... Alright, did you fall down in here? Oh, look, we do have meteoric iron right next to home. Probably never remember that. Delicious death cap stew. Those are red wine. Those are red wine. I've made death cap stew. Alright, let's see. Keep looking around. Well, we have collected almost like all the crops, you know, in the general vicinity, which is a good thing. Being as thorough as I can. Alright, yeah, see, I can't venture too far because this rain starts picking up. Makes it really annoying to try and hunt. It's alright, we'll keep looking around. Return to spawn stew. You know what we need to do? We need to return to the base and just start panning. Pan for those 11 pieces of zinc. Oh my god, if we can get those today, I'm going to be so pumped. That means we're on the cusp of the Iron Age, people. And we need to get there. You know what I might do? Oh, no, my inventory's too full for that. I was going to say we could collect some of this clay and start to make bricks, fill up our pit kilns with some fire clay bricks in anticipation of the iron, but too full on inventory. Let's go up into the hills a little bit. It's dangerous, because we could see some wolves and bears, but I also feel like it might be our best bet. I have burned the flint, yes, and I've got a stack of it in the cairn right now, which I'm kind of like slowly crushing over time whenever I have a moment to just like stand there. But yeah, so I'm prepared. Basically, we're ready for iron, If we do get enough zinc, yeah, then we can make iron, like once we find it, we can make it right away. I'm going to cut this tree down. Yeah, we're doing okay on food. Yeah, I think in a day or two, actually, most of our crops are going to come in, and then food problems are a thing of the past. Are lookout towers common in this game to find a game? I wouldn't say they're common necessarily. No. Some people probably use them. I use a lot of towers just for landmarks, since we're not working with the map in this world. It's so important. But then again, towering up just to get a better, view distance is certainly helpful. All right, here I'm talking about how full my inventory is, and then I go chop down a tree. But we should be able to grab what we need. All right, yeah, let's return home real quick. Over here, we will throw this meat into the fire pit, empty out the bags. Praise be the eternal dirt towers. You got to believe it, buddy. Yeah, if we check a look, I think there's more peat. If we take a look, I think our crops are about ready. There's peat right there behind me. And then check it out. There's peat right over here, too. At this ruin site. Yeah, there's peat like all running through here. It's right over there. There's peat too. So I'm telling you, this world is just peat filled. All right, here we go. Here we go. Diving in. All right, our hammer's ready. We'll leave that for now. Yeah, let's get the bush meat put away into the fire. All right, good, good, good. Let's place that down. Oh, no, that's good. And put that away. Let's go ahead and oil up these. Nice. Put that away. Drop, drop, drop. All right, let's go fill up our charcoal as much as we can. Look at all those stupid saplings I've planted. They're not coming in. Tell you, if every sapling that I planted sprouted right now, we'd never have to worry about wood again. I'll tell you that much. All right, put that away. All right, we're good. We're good. Actually, we might almost be full. Not quite. I like to go for those small charcoal pits. All right, there we go. Let's move. It's time to get back out there. All right. Let's see. It's 5:43. We're looking at calm activity. Grab some berries. Yeah, let's come back up over here to the hillside. At the very least, we've got a good abundance of wood over here. I mean, wildlife is so dang scarce, though, man. It's killing me. Yeah, but food-wise, we're doing okay. We're really just looking for skins right now. All right, that's good. And, of course, more wood. Make sure we've got no resin here. Okay, we look like a resinless tree, so let's chop it. Boom, here we go, folks. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming again here tomorrow, so I hope you guys will join me again. Of course, the stream's going strong, so don't go anywhere. But let's see, the problem may be you killing so much wildlife. You're right, I might have extincted too many of the species nearby. Oh, one of my animal mods added water buffalo. Domesticating them makes free wolf meat farms. That's interesting. So what? The buffaloes kill the wolves or something? Chop this one. Thing is wildlife respawns. That's true, yeah. So it shouldn't be gone forever. We're starting to lose the light. Hey, for sure, Ryan. Always happy to watch the streams. Thanks, Revan. Appreciate you, buddy. They're tanks of the cow world. I believe it. I've played with that mod before. Actually, when I did that dinosaur playthrough I was talking about earlier, I installed all those Stone Age mods too, including like the big cats and the cows and stuff, or the buffalo. Yeah, so I think actually I did get killed by one of the buffalo too in that run at one point. Water buffalo are casually dangerous as hell, yeah. 100%. Yeah, the bone carcasses thing is a myth, actually. That's not the case, Toad. As far as I understand it. It's something that I heard about a lot when I first started playing. I actually made a video where I recommended people leave the bone to inhibit spawns, but it doesn't inhibit spawns. What will work is if you leave the live animals trapped in like a pit or something. Yeah, if you're able to keep like wolves spawned in near your area, like I said, in a pit or something, then they won't spawn nearby. But just having the skeletons doesn't actually do anything. And these mods, I've watched the mammoths attack drifters and locusts. You know, that was something I always wished was like that those animals would interact more. So it's good to hear that they are. Because I remember seeing like, I don't think I've ever seen the wolves interact with the mammoths. I feel like I have seen mammoths interacting with the drifters, but it's been a while since I played with them, sadly. All right, we got a decent amount of wood. Let's keep getting more. I don't think we're going to get an animal killed today, but a little bit of wood's always good. But the incessant howling, that is true. Oh, and you know what? We're speaking of the animals, speaking of the elephants, I should say. Those things make an annoying noise constantly. Yeah, Andy and Nitro were breeding them on my old multiplayer server. And anytime you would get near their house, man, that's all you heard was an elephant noise nonstop. It was pretty annoying, but it's also, you know, having elephants. Damn, look at all those drifters and bowtorns. So much for that calm rift activity. Looks like we're dealing with medium. Damn, I love those mammoths. Yeah, you worked so hard on them, buddy. They were such a blessing too, man, because those elephants drop so much meat and fat. It's crazy. All right, we're going back home. I don't know if there's a portal right by my charcoal pit. I might not be able to get this chopped up. Let's try it, though. Let's try it. I'm just going to chop all of it. Probably should have saved some to make some beams, but hopefully we don't have to go underground again. All right, let's try and get this set up before nightfall, before we seal ourselves in for the great panning adventure of 2026. That's what I'm calling it. I'm going to rename the stream, guys. Oops. The great panning adventure. Grab it. Grab it. All right. Do have some of this. All right. A little bit of grass. Sorry, guys. Let me get the torch out for you guys here. You can see a little bit better what is happening. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I get it? Yeah, there we go. Torch over. Here we go. Literal stacks, yeah, of fat, food, pelts, whatever we had. We never had to worry about meat, and plenty of rot. That's true too, yeah, plenty of rot. All right, there we go. Bam. So that's working. Crucial, absolutely crucial for us. I'm going to put this back over here, actually. I've got peat that I can cook with, so let's put this wood over here for our future charcoal purposes. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see, raising cassowary type birds is good too. They drop red meat, poultry, feathers, and leather. Oh, that's fun. Do they make noises? That's like the one downside to, animal husbandry in this game is the noises that they make. Actually, it was true in Minecraft as well. I remember watching the PewDiePie Let's Play when he started playing Minecraft. He did his famous Let's Play series. He would constantly yell at like his chickens and sheep because they were always like making these horrible noises nonstop. All right, let's light that up. Cassowaries are monsters. Yeah, they're pretty dangerous in real life, if I'm not mistaken, right? Fairly dangerous creatures. All right, let's put away our spheroids. Those outside. Boom, boom, bam. All right, good. We're inside, people, and we're going to do some panning. Let's wait for this food to finish. All right, we do have some small pelts now. I don't need the backpack, so those are going to go definitely right to making the armor whenever we get enough material. All right, we're good. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're going to cook that up. Then I'll probably get a pot of stew going with some of our food. And then, yeah, we'll start panning. That way, grab some sand for the pan. Beautiful. Oh, I forgot I got all these sticks up here. I came prepared. I've also got peat in like 14 different spots. There's peat right there. I've got stacks of peat out here. I've got peat in my clay vessels. Oh my God, it's everywhere, people. All right, we're looking good though. You know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't. I'd put you in there. Boom. What are we doing? Can we do that? And then you can't mix the berries and the mushrooms, huh? It's kind of annoying. You gotta have the meat base, it looks like. All right, so we've got that going. Let's just eat these berries here. There's a YouTuber called Urban Rescue Ranch, and he has a name. Kevin, wait. Poggers. He's got a dog named Poggers. I know. Uncle Ben. Yeah, Uncle Farmer Dad Ben. I know Urban Rescue Ranch, dude. He's hilarious. I haven't watched any of his videos in a long time, but he operates like an animal rescue that he built like from the ground up in his own backyard. Yeah, he's such a good dude. Like, he's super funny and he's got a great personality, but he's also like a legitimately good dude when it comes to like caring for animals and stuff. Like, he will drive across the state to like go, help rescue a fox or whatever. Yeah, super cool dude. I forgot about that. Urban Rescue Ranch. Got to check out more of his videos, see what old Ben's been up to these days. But all right, so we're going to eat. Put that up there for now. All right, guys, so I'm going to drop this on the ground. We're going to dunk our butts into the water. Let's get a little bit of light on the situation. All right, I think we're ready. Are we ready? Are we ready to pan? No, the answer is no. We're going to take a quick break. So I'm going to hop up and just use the bathroom real quick, but don't go anywhere because the stream will continue. And like I said here very briefly, we're going to get into some serious panning. And hopefully this is going to be what we need to get into the Iron Age. So the excitement is about to begin. Don't go anywhere. Grab a refreshment, and I will be right back, everybody. And we're back, everybody. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for sticking around. We are here, about to start panning. Once again, the adventure has just started, everybody. So I do appreciate you coming by and hanging out. All right. I like to have my bar filled so that, like, everything that drops will go into the inventory. But let's do it. Whoops. Not great, but that's okay. We're really trying for the zinc. Actually, now what we need is zinc drops. So every little nugget of zinc is one step closer towards one of our goals up here to get that bronze anvil made, people. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for the welcome backs. Hello, hello, people. Uh-oh, somebody's talking about pizza. Man, I've got some boneless, skinless chicken breasts already like ready to go for dinner after the stream, but I was thinking to myself, damn it, I'd much rather have a pizza. I was like, I might have to order a pizza after the stream. Now you just said it, Rod. I think that confirms it, buddy. Let's go, everyone. As for sandwiches, you get 10K butterflies. Here we go. People love their sandwiches. I'm a big sandwich fan myself. I love turkey. In my opinion, there's nothing better than a fresh, like, turkey sandwich on good bread. You have a pizza coming in 5 minutes, mediocre sim guy? Nice. What kind? What do you like? I gotta be honest, I used to be like a strictly pepperoni kind of guy, but recently, as I get older, I really enjoy a good supreme pizza. Even like, I'm not even like big on mushrooms, but if it's like on a pizza, I'll eat it. You know, black olives, mushrooms, green peppers, put it all on there. The more toppings, the better. Ooh, a pizza cooking mod coming up someday. It's so similar to like a pie, kind of, but at the same time, yeah, pizza would be fun. I miss expanded foods and a culinary artillery. Playing with those mods was so much fun. I did a whole bunch of like cooking tutorial videos for those mods and stuff, just messing around and having fun. Boneless pizza. I remember the first time I ever had chicken on pizza was back in high school when I was playing football. The coaches took us all out for a pizza party, but the only kind of pizza he got was chicken, grilled chicken pizza. It was actually really good. And since then, I've had barbecue chicken pizza, which I really, really enjoy too. But yeah, that was the first time I ever had chicken on pizza, and it was like a big surprise when we got there. Bacon, cheddar, jalapeno. There you go. I'm going to piss everyone off with Hawaii pineapple and pizza. No, no, that's okay. Mediocre sim guy. I've had people say this in chat, and I've heard people say it before, but like, I think, and I agree with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with pineapple and pizza, but one thing a lot of places do wrong is they use the big old hunking chunks of pineapple, whereas really you should be using like the smaller crushed pineapple so that it really caramelizes more. So that when you bite into, you know, a piece of pineapple on your pizza, you're not getting this like really cold and like juice filled, you know, bite. It's more like a crispy caramelized sweetness almost. But either way, people like it both ways, I'm sure too. So not a big deal. But hey, Wynn's here. What's up, Wynn? How's it going? Thank you so much for dropping by. Rod is my pizza brother. Jalapenos and pineapple. There you go. And feta. Ooh, getting fancy with the feta. I think one of the mods I like most is what I currently have is to be the geology add-on. Really makes ores more versatile, but also makes iron way too easy with pyrite. That's interesting. What's the name of that one? That mod you're talking about? I've never played with many mods that add like ores or anything to this guy. I'm playing with tons of mods, just nothing revolving around the ores too much. Agree, the pineapple on pizza and how it tastes sweet on the pizza doesn't hinder the savory flavors, right? You know, and if you're literally just like getting Domino's, they're probably just emptying a can of like Dole pineapple chunks, you know, right onto your pizza. So that's going to be a little bit too much. But I think like just a small sprinkling of like the crushed could really accentuate. That is great. I like gorgonzola with jalapeno too. I live near St. Louis, Missouri, and we have St. Louis style pizza here, and it uses provolone cheese is like the St. Louis style. The main cheese is provolone. It really adds a distinctive flavor versus like mozzarella pizza. Another thing with St. Louis style is it's always real crispy, extremely thin crust, like cracker like, and they cut it into squares instead of triangles. That's St. Louis style pizza. It's pretty good. We have a place called Emo's. Anybody ever hear of Emo's Pizza, St. Louis style? It's pretty expensive, though. Like if you go order at Emo's, you're probably going to pay like twice as much if you just order from like a Papa John's. Sweetness matches perfect with the ham. There you go, man. You guys make me hungry. I was going to stream for another 2 hours, 2.5 hours. My stomach's grumbling. Well, we got one nugget of zinc. We're not dead yet, so let's keep going. This ain't over. We haven't even started talking about aliens yet, but trust me, that's on the list too, so don't worry. But CGB, BB, what's best of luck finding 10? Luckily, my spawn was in granite biome with loads of tin and copper nearby hematite. Congrats, buddy. We're actually on the lookout for zinc right now because I did come across a bismuth strike early in the stream. We found some rich bismuth ore. And so in order to make the bismuth bronze, we're actually looking for zinc, saphirolite. So that's why we're panning right now. Because for me, I'd rather just sit here and pan and kind of chat with you guys, honestly. We can have fun talking about food and aliens while I just sit here and do this. But we're getting some other good stuff. We're getting some copper. And also, potentially, we could check off the third goal. If we get a temporal gear, we can check off another one of our goals on today's stream list. So that'll be good to do. Missouri mentioned, you know it, buddy. I don't live in Missouri, but I live on the Illinois side of St. Louis, essentially. I don't want to give away too much of my exact location, but yeah. I've been to many Cardinals games and gone gambling over in St. Louis quite a bit. It's not legal to gamble here in Illinois, so there's like a dozen different casinos and casino boats like right on the other side of the river. Literally, I'm like probably, depending on traffic, like 25 minutes away from sitting down at the old poker table or playing some slots if I wanted. Did I found lantern metal? Oh, you mean the bismuth? Yeah, Toad Squish. Happened early in the stream, but we found some. Got super lucky down to the south. You know, we had readings on. Actually, we had readings on cassiterite, bismuth, and zinc in that area, but we just hit on the bismuth first. So, aliens eat pizza and love MIB movies, right? I'm sure would be something if that was real. What would be what I'm? Okay, so let's start to steer towards the alien conversation since Eon Ogi, you've kind of done that for us. Is there anybody familiar with the Fermi paradox? The Fermi paradox. I know Rod knows this. Come on, Rod. There, the Fermi paradox. Hold on. Okay, let's get back into. Oh, I just got a copper spearhead. You know, I actually want to test and see if I can chisel this spearhead into bits. We tried the arrowhead earlier in the stream, and it didn't work. I didn't think it would, but so I might be moving southwest Missouri in a week or two, depending on Springfield side. Right on, right on. So you're talking maybe like Kansas City, Missouri type area. Potentially, I don't want to dox you, Toad. You don't have to give up like specifics if you don't want, buddy. But that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Missouri is a beautiful state. I often say that for like the natural beauty, Missouri is often overlooked. People often talk about Colorado or California, you know, many other states in America which are beautiful, and they are. But Missouri, you know, home of the Ozarks and some really, really great natural areas. I'm biased too because I grew up next to it and did a lot of camping there as a kid. Remember that Uncle Scrooge comic where the Terrys and the Fermis were not quite that Fermi. Fermi is named after a physicist, Fermi, Enrico Fermi. Fermi was assuming a bunch. We really can't detect how much 50 plus years ago it was far less. Wait, hold on, let me eat something real quick so this guy will shut up. So what are you saying exactly, Ron? The Fermi paradox underestimates how big the universe is. Okay, so you would say one of the the solution to the Fermi paradox is that it's founded on a misunderstanding of just how big the universe is. So the reason we don't see aliens is simply because there's too much space out there. It would take them too long to get here, essentially. Because for anybody who's not aware, the Fermi paradox is, hold on, let me get set up. Basically states that just the size of our galaxy could be traversed, in a roughly a billion years, even using our own current technologies like chemical rockets. In the time that has existed in the galaxy's lifespan, there should have been many intelligent alien civilizations, to have arisen. There's enough time there that they could have colonized the entire galaxy. So the paradox, the question which Fermi posed is, why don't we see them? If there's enough time and the space is close enough, why aren't we seeing them? But Mattis has just pointed out, and I think it's kind of what Rod was alluding to as well, is that space is actually bigger than what Fermi was giving it credit for. I think in the observable, we're alone. Interesting. So the von Neumann probes wouldn't necessarily be detectable when we're being monitored. So that's Rod brings up another great point, and the von Neumann probe, for people who aren't familiar with that concept, is essentially it's a 3D printer with propulsion. So if you can imagine, instead of a civilization, an alien civilization, sending out spaceships filled with people to colonize, they would send out a probe equipped with its own 3D printer, which, once it arrives at its destination, can set up and print more probes. It can print more copies of itself, and those printers equipped with their own 3D, or those probes equipped with their own 3D printers, would then go out to their other solar systems around, and they would continue. Those would then replicate themselves. So it becomes like an exponential thing. And you can imagine, even with technologies we have today, it would only take us about 1 million, 2 million years to completely inhabit the entire galaxy with von Neumann probes. Yeah, von Neumann was another physicist. I think he was kind of around the same time as Fermi, wasn't he? Didn't they both work on the Manhattan Project? You might have to double check me on that, the exact historical context for the men who came up with these ideas. But they were brilliant guys. Yeah, these are interesting concepts. They'd be a basketball size or smaller. This guy's no way. Oh, you mean the von Neumann probes? Yeah. It's interesting you bring that up, because I think people have this assumption about our own solar system that we've got it like well mapped out, but there's so much space in our own solar system, that they could hide a probe. There's a part on the other side of the sun, if you think about it, because our planet is always orbiting the sun. They could position a probe on the opposite side of the sun, which is in a synchronous orbit with Earth, that just stays out of our visual range at all times. Do you know what I'm saying? If they were smart enough and they knew that we were inhabited here on this planet. So there are plenty of places they could put von Neumann probes in our own backyard, and we would never know. Or we wouldn't know with modern technologies, or without explicitly going to that point in space to look, So yeah, it's very easy to say that the solution to the Fermi paradox is that we just don't have the technology or the commitment to get out there and actually find the aliens. Yeah. But although I still think that there's an element of the paradox which holds up in the sense that, well, we might not see a super civilization's probes, but then again, a really truly advanced civilization is going to build things like Dyson spheres or mega structures, which are going to send out, intense radio or whatever kind of light waves they happen to send out, microwaves, X-rays. And we would detect those, but we see nothing. There are no signs whatsoever, whether it's a tiny probe or a mega structure. There's just nothing. Now again, you could make that argument, well, space is vast and we just haven't looked hard enough, and I think that's valid. I do think that's a valid solution, but either way, thinking about the question is just, it's a fun and exciting thing to do, in my opinion. Can't make von Neumann probes today. No, I don't think we could. Not in the sense that they would be able to. I mean, maybe. It's hard to say we couldn't because the technology in theory does exist. You can imagine 3D printers, but no, I think propulsion would be the big bottleneck because they could maybe replicate like ion thrust engines, electrical based propulsion. They're certainly not going to be able to like replicate chemical rockets with the fuel and everything in them. They could. I think there's ways of doing that, but it would take much too long for those type of von Neumann probes. So you're right. It would not be really feasible with modern technology. Theoretically, you could maybe make that case, but it would be the most difficult engineering project that the human race has ever undertaken. It would dwarf the difficulty of like building the pyramids and stuff like that, essentially, just to make like usable and functional von Neumann probes that would inhabit and colonize the whole system. Think about how you would personally interact with an anthill. You might look at it, but you're unlikely to open up diplomatic relations. That's a great point, too. That's another great solution to the Fermi paradox. It's just that the aliens are out there, but they're on such a different level, in terms of their intellect and their essential existence, that they're like, we are like ants to a human by comparison. There's a really great novel called Roadside Picnic, written by two Russian brothers. Roadside Picnic, and it's about an alien visitation it's actually about the aftermath of an alien visitation on Earth, and it's essentially that premise. The aliens do come to Earth, they exist, they come and then they leave, but they don't give a damn about human beings. We just happen to be like a convenient stopover point, on wherever the hell they were going, Really interesting book. But let's see, Gene Roddenberry was an alien sent here to prepare us for 1,000 years in the future. I like the way you think, Private Info. Mattis says, which leads credence to the Dyson spheres, that kind of things are just fantasy, not really viable. Dyson sphere would register an infrared. We see nothing, it's all ours. I'm not sure I followed that statement. Okay, Toad says, I'd bang on the fourth dimensional entities. Time and distance and higher dimensions don't match our three-dimensional limitations. There you go. Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it for sure. All right. Get back in here. Let's do some painting. We're not done, people. We're not done with this. Lock it in. Let's go. I should have emptied my inventory, but God, in all this time, I've only got one nugget of zinc. Oh, Lord. Madfish MP, what's up? There's also a great filter idea that basically comes down to, if a civilization is able to colonize other planets, it either destroys itself or does not colonize other planets. 100% Madfish. The great filter is another perfect explanation for the Fermi paradox. Yeah. I used to follow, and I still do watch anything I can, for a physicist named Nick Bostrom. He's like a Swedish physicist, but he often talked about the great filter too. He didn't like come up with that idea, but I've heard of it through him before too. So yeah, dead right. Great filter is another really interesting concept to think about. What point, if it's true, if it's a real thing, at what point are we human beings as a species? Where are we in relation to that great filter? Is it still ahead of us? Is it AI? Is it nuclear? We don't know. And so it could be behind us. It could be that the great filter is actually multicellular life. If you look at the total time span of life on Earth, the majority, I think it was like 3/4, is single cell life, single cell bacteria. Multicellular organisms are fairly recent in terms of their evolutionary arrival here on Earth, in terms of geologic time. If we're talking about the full span of 4.5 billion years of Earth's time, So that could be the great filter. Roadside Picnic inspired the Stalker games. That's 100%. There's also a movie called Stalker 2 that it's inspired by. Yep, that's right, Toad Squish. Get back to panning. Sorry, Private. I know, dude. I've only got one nugget. Oh my god, I've got so much copper. Dang it. You were saying it's weird we don't see evidence of Dyson spheres or other megastructures, so what I would say is probably means they aren't really viable. Okay, so their absence doesn't necessarily indicate one way or the other because it's just pure science fiction. I think that's probably not too far off base, Mattias. Yeah, I think that's good insight. The filter gives the aliens duck lips. It makes them much hotter in the video chat. Oh, well, those are my kind of aliens, actually. Let's see if we can find some of those after the stream. All this talk about aliens makes me want to boot up Kerbal Space Program again. Well, don't stop, buddy. Don't hold yourself back. Who knows what you can discover. AI, alien intelligence, that would be quite an interesting idea instead of artificial intelligence, for sure. Mattias says a solid one tick, but satellites aren't the start. Hold on. Oh, god damn it. One nugget. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. That's so true. That is so true, buddy. That's another great, that's why the Fermi paradox, it's not even really a paradox either. It's more of just a hypothetical, which is kind of like a thought experiment, which doesn't really lead you anywhere. But it's a fascinating concept and discussion topic, you know what I'm saying? If you have a friend or if you meet someone who is interested in science fiction, you can just talk about the Fermi paradox, you know what I mean? It's just such a great thing to go off of. And then from that point, you can start talking about Dyson spheres or von Neumann probes and 100 other things that tie into this concept, I love it. Let's see, I think most likely we are the first. It makes sense with current observation. I think you're probably right, Rod. We're either the first or the last. Yeah, the intelligent species in the galaxy, to put that thought fully through, is what Rod's saying, I believe. Well, the huge sphere I saw as a kid, I promise didn't come from Earth or our technologies. So Toad says essentially that he has direct personal experience with unidentified flying objects, which he's convinced are not of this earth. Would that be correct, Toad? Is that what you're saying? Personal evidence, personal experience is something you can't really argue against. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of friends who believe in ghosts because they've had personal, and I'm not demeaning this concept at all. That's not what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of explaining it a little bit. It's not something that, if that's the case, if that's what you believe, then that's kind of the end of the discussion. You know what I mean? There's no real way to move a person who has that personal experience one way or the other. They're going to believe what they believe because they've experienced whatever this was. So all I can say is I respect that, but, and that's the thing too, is that personal experience works in the other direction. You're never actually going to be able to convince other people based on an anecdotal experience that you're just telling them. You know what I'm saying? You might convince some people if it's someone who's really, it's like a loved one who's really close to you and they trust you deeply. You could probably convince someone like that. But I mean, for me, at least, I'm the type of person who requires evidence. What's going on? The lasagna has dropped in, everybody. We were talking about pizza earlier. We'll throw that in the trash because the lasagna of games is here. What's up, buddy? Thanks for dropping by the stream, my friend. We're panning. That's right. In the middle of the day. It's daylight out, and we're just sitting here panning. Why? Because I'm desperate for some zinc. I need 11, well, actually I need 10 more pieces of zinc ore. And I really just don't feel like mining. I think, wait, what's Rod saying? Interdimensional explains unidentified aerial projectiles. Is that it? Projectiles? Movement. Adam and Eve were terrifying bots that seeded the earth with us. Think of a sphere in Flatland. The UAP are digits into our space. Interesting. Yeah, Lasagna, you dropped into a really deep conversation about aliens too, buddy. Let's see. Let's just say Italian is really good food genre. Dude, it's my favorite genre. I've said it before, I love fried chicken, and there was a time in my life where I tried to convince myself that fried chicken was my favorite food, but without a doubt, it's pizza. And I mean, if I had to list like my top 10 favorite foods, Italian is going to dominate that list, quite frankly. Whether we're talking about garlic bread, really good garlic bread, nothing beats it. Oh, let's go. Also, things like, I mean, chicken parmesan. Oh, I hate to say this too, but veal parmesan is also freaking amazing too. If you can stand, the immorality that goes along with eating veal. But I've had it once or twice when I was younger, and it's amazing. Einkin, as for being first or last, there's a Fermi paradox hypothesis that states life, intelligent consciousness, doesn't always exist, that it kind of bubbles up intermittently. Interesting. And so essentially, Einkin, you would say that following that statement, it kind of flows into the earlier statement that either human beings are simply the first or the last. Like you've said, either being first or last doesn't mean that there won't be others, but we're just the current instantiation or the bubbling up of consciousness. That's an interesting point. It's an interesting point. Now, let me ask you guys that. Hold on, let me read the other comments, then I'll ask you the question. One of my friends is really into ghosts, so we promised to go to ghost hunting soon. I will bring back my Aztec death whistle to mess with them. I don't know what that is, dude, but an Aztec death whistle? You better bring that stuff, man. You better. Like I said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It sticks with you. You rationalize, didn't make any. Well, you're right, Toad. That's all I said, buddy. I respect it. You know, I hope one day to have a similar experience. I genuinely do. You know, and if I get to that point, yeah, I'll definitely share it with you guys. I will. Let's see. My favorite food is good old American cheeseburger. I'm with you. That's top five for me. Top five is definitely a cheeseburger. There's so many steps to intelligence and consciousness, each a great filter. Hey, what's up, Einkin? Catch you on CD? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad you stopped by for Vintage Story, buddy. Are you a fan? Have you ever played Vintage Story or checked it out before? It's a really great block-based game. If you're into them, definitely recommend it. But I'm glad you stopped by and said hello, buddy. We'll be streaming more Cataclysm, of course, next week. So my streaming schedule, as always, is pinned up there in chat for you guys. Let's drop off some crap here. We're going to get our butts out of the water and do something here with our lives, at least for a moment, because we're running out of food. Hold on. Oh, you got to go, private info. Thank you so much for hanging out, buddy. Hopping on to some Arc Raiders. Well, thanks, dude. Hopefully we'll see you again in the future. New to Vintage Story, but I used to be heavy into Minecraft, so it's an easy transition. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware too much of this game, but it's not actually on Steam, so I'm going to get you a link just in case you're interested. There's no pressure or anything, obviously, but it's got its own website. The developers haven't put this game on Steam yet, so if you are interested, this is the only well, I shouldn't say the only place, because I think they are on itch.io, but you can pick it up there at the developer's website, perfectly safe, you know. And we're actually right now currently awaiting a big update to the 1.22 update. It's hopefully dropping sometime this month or next month. But all right, let's step outside. We're going to check on our crops in the back. First, we got to kill a boat torn. Oh, you missed me, sucker. It's the last mistake you'll ever make. Yeah, I can too. If you got any questions, buddy, feel free to shout them out. Happy to answer, or maybe chat can answer too. We were talking fairy. Oh yeah, Rod. I'm sorry. Hold on. So I was starting to think about consciousness. One of the commenters mentioned consciousness and how it relates to the paradox and life itself. And I just wonder what you guys think of consciousness, because it's such a big mystery, you know. And of course, when I say consciousness, I should just define it. What I'm talking about is this experience that each and every one of us has, this first person experience of life where we are at the center of our world. Everything is happening. We can see it through our eyes. We detect it through our senses, and our mind or whatever part of our body manifests it. We're aware. I think, therefore I am is the basis, of this kind of thing. So what do you guys think? Is consciousness fundamental to the universe? Is it like gravity? Is it like light? Is it a fundamental aspect of the universe? Or is it something that emerges? Like life itself is something which is not fundamental. It's just an emergent property of the universe. Similar to stars. Stars aren't fundamental. They're just emergent from the properties such as gravity and electromagnetism. So what is consciousness? What do you guys think? I remember the other day, universe is expanding right now. The theory is that it will eventually go back to shrinking at some point, and another Big Bang fall, another expansion. I've heard of that, Madfish, too. Life, could just be the form of the current cycle. And it's interesting to think about that, Madfish, too, because essentially that means there's going to be a point, a whole stretch of points, where the universe is essentially going backwards through time, right? So, and we wouldn't realize this, but we would just be experiencing life backwards, and it would be normal, it wouldn't be anything unusual to us, because that's just part of that grand expansion and contraction cycle. I've also heard, too, that the universe is just a projection within a big bang. I don't know how to explain this that well, but within each black hole, like there are big bangs happening, and our universe is just in the space of a black hole. And there are black holes within our own universe. It's just like a big block of cheese. I don't know, the multiverse idea, the onion universes, there you go, the multiverse. Okay, Brad says, I don't know how consciousness isn't essential to discovery. Well, that's true. That's true. Let's see. If there's no consciousness, then there is no experience. What would there be? Well, there would just be rocks and empty space, essentially. So I would say that you guys are more in the camp then. It sounds like you're saying that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of the universe. So in other words, even if there aren't humans around, there is going to be some form of consciousness, whether it's a concept I think we've talked about before, Boltzmann's brains, which is just like unsubstantiated consciousness, but it's intelligence nonetheless, which just exists in the universe without a body. Boltzmann's brains would be an example of like fundamental consciousness manifesting in other ways besides just organic life. And so you're saying that there's going to be some sort of consciousness out there. Now, here's one of the consequences of believing that consciousness is a fundamental force in the universe is panpsychism. Are you guys familiar with panpsychism? This is the idea that everything has some tiny, tiny manifestation of consciousness. Even rocks and trees and asteroids and suns, they have a tiny spark of consciousness. Everything is, having some kind of consciousness in it, not just living things. It's called panpsychism. All right, let's move in. We just got a whole buttload of food. Let's do it. All right, we are ready. Look at this. We're not even focused. It seems like I play better when I'm not even paying attention to the game. Oh, I'm on top of the world. All right, let's see. Put that in there. No, I do need my peat. Oh, I just put my torches in there. I need my peat. Come here, Pete. I got a use for you, buddy. Great conversations, guys. We really appreciate having such a great group of people to talk with about these fun things. This is like my most fun thing to do. I would rather do this than actually play. Video games is just the distraction to get you guys drawn in here to have these kind of conversations. You didn't realize it, but I've tricked you. All right, hold on. Let me eat so he'll shut up. All right, let's read. Rocks in empty space where don't mean anything if there is no consciousness to perceive it. True. Our world has very complex rules. Wait, for a class we are made to run a simulation called Conway's Game of Life. Once you run it, you see how to complete random seed and simple rules. I think I've heard of that, Mattias, before. Yeah, where you just put in, just like you say, some very simple rules, and you watch this computer program essentially evolve, and these little creatures, these digital beings, evolve according to the laws of evolution by natural selection, which is fascinating. Yeah, and it basically proves evolution, if you think about that. I think it's accurate. Panpsychism, you do. Okay, then yeah, consciousness would be a fundamental force in that, by that opinion. That's why I yell at my printer. It knows it's misprinting. Oh, that's too funny. Hey, don't make me feel bad to pee on a conscious tree. It's very fabric of existence itself. Okay. Yeah, interesting. I like this. So bits of consciousness in amoeba, more in raccoons. Yeah. You know, George R. R. Martin wrote a short story, the author of Game of Thrones, wrote a short story where he talked about human beings who had psychic abilities and could detect the mental states of other entities. And in that story, he describes it from the psychic's perspective. And this has always stuck with me about that. I don't even remember the name of the story. I just remember this little tidbit. And the psychic in the story can detect everything, bees and, you know, mice. It's just, she describes it as different, like, you know, intensities of consciousness. You know, even an ant has the thought, I exist, I am an ant. You know, that's the very foundation of all life, you know, is that consciousness that just says, I am. And then from there, as you get more complex, you have other thoughts, you know, like I need nectar or whatever. I just noticed that the one time you won zinc, you almost got none by panning. It wasn't a need. You got more of it than you ever want. I know. Well, we're not done panning. Actually, I don't know. Should we try and go actually mine? If we do active, if I actually play the game, then I won't be able to talk as much. But I'm also thinking we could probably find some decent readings near where we actually found the bismuth. Because I'm pretty sure I recall that there were some readings for zinc over in that direction. But I'm also up to just pan some more. And we'll eventually get there. So put that right there. Oh my gosh, let's eat. Here, I just cooked up a whole bunch of food and I'm not eating it. What's wrong with me? I do that in real life too sometimes. Spend all this time cooking and then I'll just like, it'll be ready and I just like, oh, let me watch this show real quick. Delicious. Trees won't carry different levels, yeah, of caffeine agency. Yeah, the consciousness thing is tough, but, you know, I've often thought that if consciousness is a fundamental force in the universe, then that has a lot of consequences for science, for real science, which can have an impact on our lives. Now, I don't think that our civilization is anywhere near the stage that we are ever going to be able to manipulate consciousness, but I think that if human beings live long enough, and we're talking maybe like 100,000, a million years, and we gain a civilization advanced enough, that we might be able to master consciousness to the point where we will conquer death itself. And I'm not talking about immortality. I'm talking about the resurrecting of dead people. And it's how, now we're starting to get into religion and talking about the afterlife essentially, but I do believe that there is potential for a secular afterlife, as I would call it, meaning that if we do get to a stage in human evolution where we can conquer and master consciousness, I think it's a natural type of desire for humans to want to bring back and resurrect everyone who has ever lived, from Einstein to Hitler and everybody in between. Because at that far point, not only are you going to be so advanced in your technology on a material level, you would assume that those people would also be advanced in philosophy and moral and psychology and things like that. And so they would have no barrier to resurrecting everyone. And that includes me and you. If this is true, if this reality is even possible and it happens, that means that as soon as we will die, our eyes will open again. We'll be alive instantaneously because that future exists, it's real, and they've achieved the ability to resurrect, and we are in that continuum. And so as soon as we die, we're suddenly awakened, but it'll be a million years in the future. Some highly advanced group of scientists around us, waking us and every other human being that's ever lived, waking us up. Again, this is just a speculative idea that I've thought about before, but I do believe that if consciousness is a fundamental force in the universe, that there are certain implications, like I just laid out, which could be monumental to human life, but there's also no way that we'll know that, and we could never really prove it in this timeline. You've got to die to find out, essentially. But don't do that, people. Don't do that. Stay with us, please. I think that everything organic has that spark, but not everything has the ability to use it the way that we do. Very well put, Evan. That's true. Every animal has a preset behaviors, but they also have different personalities and ways to interact with the world. Some animals are deemed smarter than others, like dolphins and squid have higher potential to use that spark the way we do. Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. It's tough realizing responsibility to everything. You live differently. Wouldn't psychedelics be a way to alter consciousness? Yes, mediocre sim guy. I could talk about that too, actually. Let's read the rest of the comments. That's kind of like necromancy? Sure, 100%. I mean, Arthur C. Clarke said that all technology, as long as it's sufficiently advanced enough, is indistinguishable from magic, which is what necromancy is. Yes, check out the Law of One. Resurrection is dubious. Information is lost. Interesting. But, I mean, Rod, if we're presupposing that consciousness is a fundamental force in the universe, it's not actually information in the traditional sense. It's a fundamental force, But I don't know. Maybe you're right. If that's true, Ryan, you better go back to streaming so that we can watch you again. All right, we're gonna get serious here in a moment. We'll get back out there and do some stuff. I am a living ship of Theseus. I forgot all the stuff, all the time to make room for new memories. There you go. That's true. Our bodies are a ship of Theseus, constantly being replenished at a cellular level. The cells that you have in your body today, except for maybe a handful of brain cells, are not the cells that you started with. Let's see. I don't think we'll ever be able to bring back, but extend seems easy comparatively. So you don't think resurrection, but you think maybe immortality, at least maybe limited. Clark Tech is awesome. I love Arthur C. Clarke. I've said before his book, Rama, Rendezvous with Rama, the novel science fiction, really kind of kicked off my love for the science fiction genre. I mean, I always loved it through movies and stuff, but that was what got me into reading sci-fi novels, was his book. Well, if you suddenly brought back a Neanderthal with our advanced technology, I don't think it would be as cute as Encino Man. No, poor Brendan Fraser, he wouldn't be what we brought back, would he? Neanderthals were the monsters that we feared in the dark. Guile says psychedelics. Hold on. Psychedelics really make you think what the frick is actually going on. What if resurrection is in an altered carbon way? Yeah, that's a good point too. I'm familiar with altered carbon, definitely. Richard K. Morgan is the author. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Let's put in a cough drop. Win498. Hello, Win. Continued consciousness would be torture for a lot of people, especially without the ability to forget or adapt away the past experience. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Win. I think you're right that psychologically, humans are probably not equipped for immortality or even thousands of years of life. That's true. Without a regular wipe, essentially, I don't think we could handle it. That's a good point. Excellent point, Win. Thank you for hanging out with us and listening to me babble on. So, Gal, you've mentioned psychedelics. There was a writer, he wrote a book called The Doors of Perception. Aldous Huxley. He also wrote another book he's a little bit more famous for called A Brave New World. But the book that I'm talking about specifically relates to psychedelic drug. He was actually a big user of mescaline and peyote. Just as a side note, when he died, he knew he was sick and dying as an old man, and he requested to be dosed with mescaline as he was dying, literally going through the process of physical death. He was tripping on mescaline. But anyway, yeah, both great books. The Doors of Perception were the inspiration for the title of the band, The Doors. But in that book, one of the main themes or concepts in The Doors of Perception is that the human brain is a sieve. The entire span of all information throughout the universe exists and is present and available at our fingertips, so to speak, quotations. It's there. There's nothing between us and every bit of information. And when I say information, I'm talking at like a very basic physical level. We're talking about like the atomic structures of all of this stuff. And our brain is literally there not to allow us to access everything, but to not physically, but in a physical way, to bring it down to a manageable level, to essentially filter it into a sensory space that the human body can accept, if you see what I'm saying. So in other words, without our minds, we would go insane, if we were completely exposed to all this information, the zoomed in perspective. But what psychedelics and drugs like mescaline and LSD allow human beings to do is to expand that filter, to open the doors of perception in our mind so that we don't necessarily have access to the entire span of this information web, which is all around us, but we can just get a little bit wider of a glimpse. We get our foot in that door of perception a little bit more, thanks to these things. And you could argue that the experiences of all of our ancestors, dating back to the shamans and things like that, and prehistorical cultures, are using drugs for that purpose. It's almost a new type of phenomenon where drugs are more of a recreational thing and deemed like harmful. I mean, if you look at our past, ancestors, whether it's in the Amazon jungle or the Vikings, they were using these higher level of drugs for religious experiences, Minnie Mongoose, what's up? There she is. Welcome to the stream, Minnie Mongoose. You were volunteering. Well, that's so great to hear you doing something for a good cause, Minnie Mongoose. I'm glad you could make it to the stream. I missed you. But you're here with us now, and we're having big conversations. Makes sense the mind would also be limited to necessity. Yeah, you seem like you would enjoy playing Magic the Awakening. I played Magic the Gathering. Oh, Mage. I'm sorry, I misread that. Mage the Awakening. I'm not familiar with that one. Terrence McKenna argued that the stoned ape theory, that's an interesting one, where he says all of language and culture came from earlier humans dabbing with shrooms. Yeah, no. And Gil, I've heard about this. I know of Terrence McKenna, and I've heard of the stoned ape theory. It's not that far-fetched, in my opinion. Essentially, the premise is, our ancestors would follow herds of animals like reindeer or bison or even, woolly mammoths and stuff. And what also follows in the wake of large animal herds? Poop in large quantities, feces. And where do magic mushrooms grow? On feces. And is a starving human, 10,000 years ago, somebody who's like so hungry that they're literally just following a pack of animals, hoping for the opportunity, if they see mushrooms at their fingertips, do you think that they're not going to eat those mushrooms? As long as they don't drop dead, as long as their friend who just ate one doesn't drop dead, yeah, they're going to eat them, even if it causes them to trip. And the idea of the stoned ape theory is that this happened at a point that was so crucial for the development of our mental states, poop shrooms. Well, magic mushrooms, even today, are harvested and grown on poop. But either way, that this consumption of these magic mushrooms was actually a stepping stone in evolution. Not only did it cause us to have a really fun time, but it launched human mental states so far, and propelled us into. I don't know if that's true or if that could even work, but it's an interesting idea. Yeah, it certainly is. And again, another idea that Aldous Huxley, the author of Doors of Perception we were just talking about, one thing he talked about, and I think this is true, is that there has not been a human civilization from the most primitive to the most advanced that did not use drugs, some sort of mind-altering experience in some way. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Ben Ben? Yeah, still panning for zinc, buddy. And unfortunately, I have not got any. I think we're 10 pieces of zinc short. So yeah, we're taking the opportunity to just pan and have a little chat. This is kind of like a just chatting stream, but I'm also playing Vintage Story in the background. Hope you guys don't mind. If you get bored, just tell me. We'll go do something else. Although it is nighttime. But let's see. We can also change the subject. Let's see. There's over 200 species of cycloben mushrooms. Equals X. Just the most famous uses cow manure as a medium. Yeah. It's of psychedelics being part of evolution is a very interesting subject. I agree, mediocre sim guy, 100%. The area of bismuth had Saphiri light as well, Ben. You're right. I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and pan up through this night because it's just coming up to darkness. So we'll pan because I've still got enough food. And then in the morning, we'll actually get out and play the game. Deal, compromise. We'll go. Let's see here. What did Mini Mongoose said? I'm bored. Go right into some Botoids. Mini Mongoose. Always trolling me. I'm going to call you miniature troll. No, I'm just kidding. I would never say that. I know you're kidding. Let's see. Mushrooms are responsible for evolution. Oh. I think I know what Rod's talking about. Let's see what else he says. Spores pass the atmosphere is the true goal. No, I've heard some theory, and I can't remember. I think I heard this on Joe Rogan, actually, a while back. But there was talk because there was a time period in Earth's history early. Remember I was talking earlier about how majority of time on Earth was single-cell life? Well, right after multicellular life evolved, before like animals or even fish or even plants had evolved, fungus was around. Multicellular fungus, mushrooms, in very different forms than we know today. But one of the common ones that we have fossils of, we have fossilized fungus, grew in tree-like structures. They didn't have leaves. It was just like the trunk. So it was just like a pillar of mushroom, just like the mushroom stalk without the actual head of the mushroom, but much larger. We're talking like 3 to 4, feet tall, maybe even meters. I can't remember, but fairly big. And we have these. They were first, I think, mistakenly, the fossils were mistaken for like fossilized wood, I think at some point, but then they were understood to actually be fungus. And it was said that in this theory that the Earth would not have become habitable for today's modern flora and fauna without that intermediary stage of the fungus. So essentially, if you can think about this, there are fungus today, we call them lichen, which can exist on only rocks. They can this is a life form that can eat rocks, essentially, to put it in its most gross terminology. And that's what these fungus were able to do. Because remember, there were no plants. There was no, anything for it to feed on other than rock. And yet these mushroom stalks existed millions of years, just feeding off the minerals, breaking down rock and creating soils, the first and earliest forms of soil that the planet Earth will ever see, that ever had, And so again, it started the cycle for what we now know as like modern jungles, and all the things came from this foundation of these fungi, which existed, and we have just barely any fossils for. It's interesting. Rogan episodes with Paul Stamets are extremely interesting. That mushroom guy, yep. He's the one who comes in with like his hat made of mushroom leather. I freaking love that dude. I miss the old Rogan days. Mushrooms are so awesome. Mycelium is a big underground mushroom. Says living It's the, don't they call it the honey mushroom is like the common name for that one? The largest living organism on Earth. Yeah, it's like in Washington State or Oregon. Yeah, there's like a huge underground just web of honey mushroom roots, which has been deemed like the largest organism on Earth. They've got a collective consciousness that wants to spread to everywhere possible. Sounds like the story for a good book, definitely. This guy knows how to have a mind. Lichen is symbiosis of mushrooms and a plant. Oh, thank you, Mattias. So it's not a true fungus. In other words, it's going to be, as you put it, a symbiote. Thank you for pointing that out. It also goes on trees, though. Yeah, I think you can find lichen on trees, feeding on wood, probably. That rocks. Let's see. They're around 25 feet tall. Wow. So yeah, 3 to 4 meters then. Prototaxiotes. There you go, lasagna. Love it. Yeah, there's some good YouTube videos out there. If you guys are interested in more of what I'm talking about, there are, look up like ancient mushrooms or prototaxiotes. Look up the proper name that lasagna was so nice to share with us. Appreciate you guys. See the doors of perception. What about it? Fungi stream. Nice one. It took me a second to get that, but I got it. I got it. All right, I kind of moved this because it's not ideal. All right, we're panning, people. It's happening. The zinc is flowing like mud around here, but we'll get some. It's played all the strength and none of the weakness. See, there are fungi in there, but also algae and bacteria, apparently. I have a friend who's a myconologist. She knows all the shrooms. That's awesome. That tripped me out when I looked up shroom leather because you had that mod. I never guessed that it'd be a real thing. Yeah, apparently mycelial leather is a real thing. It's amazing. Mushrooms are pretty astounding when you start to learn more about it. It's something we take for granted. I also think water is in that category of things that we take for granted, but which are actually quite amazing in their properties and what they're able to do. Water is on that list, but mushrooms are too, fungus. Also slime molds, but that's a whole different discussion. This is why I watch your streams. Good vibes and good talks. Thanks, Raven. Appreciate you. This is why we got the best community on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick right here. Scooby leather is a thing. Also cats. That's true, Mini Mongoose. Also we were having a discussion about cats earlier. That's when I was thinking about you, Mini Mongoose. We were talking about cougars and baby bobcats. Evolutionarily perfect. So you think that the pinnacle of evolution is now, but it's not Homo sapiens. It's the feline species. Interesting. Symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. Scoby? Yeah, no, cats are pretty good, but do you guys know? Don't look this up, okay? Because you have access to supercomputers right now, but don't look this up. Just guess. What animal have scientists tested that has the best kill rate or the best rate of hunting success? What animal in the animal kingdom, the whole kingdom, do you think has the best rate of hunting success? Let's see. Brian says, y'all send the things where people talk psychedelics and they have them look at laser beam on the wall. I'm not sure. It's hard to follow that one. It's crabs. Wait, Japan uses slime mold to map the hub. Yeah, I've heard of that too. They use slime mold to like map organically the subways using nodes on a food map. Yeah, they found the most efficient route. Got to be some kind of bug. That's it. It is the dragonfly. That's right. Swato Tem. The dragonfly, believe it or not. It's got like a 95% success rate when it leaves a plant to hunt for a little insect. And they do this flying too. Of course, dragonflies and mayflies and those types, they hunt on the wing. You know, they don't land and hunt on the ground. Dragonflies. You can look that one up. Human. No. I'm sure we were in that list, but it wasn't humans. Oh, look. Oh, holy crap, people. all of a sudden, I went for like an hour with no zinc, and now we just need 7 left. Thought it was cats. Cats would be a good guess. Cats would be a good guess, but you've got that mammal bias going on, buddy. It's not the mammals, my friend. It's the bugs that got us beat. I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I watched the last series that I ever got into was Enterprise with Scott Bakula, and there's a point where he's introducing humans essentially to a new alien species, and he's like giving them facts about Earth. He's like, 93% of the biomass on Earth is made up of insects. Something that always stuck with me. I don't think it was 93%, but yeah, bugs are everywhere, people. Without bugs, we would be nowhere. My hunting success rate is 50-50 in a fully stocked store. That's hilarious. Suddenly 3 nuggets. I know. When you guys weren't looking, I popped into, what's it called? God damn it, I can't remember the creative mode. I popped into creative mode, but I didn't take out all that I needed, just a small amount, so you guys wouldn't suspect me. Oh, the song Crazy by Seal makes reference to LSD and Aldous Huxley. Right on. I started to get into LSD. It's a funny sentence. In a literary form, because of a book called The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. I wonder if anybody's ever read this one. It's not quite as famous as Aldous Huxley, but it was written by he's kind of a journalist and fiction author named Tom Wolfe. He wrote a book called The Bonfire of the Vanities, which was later made into a movie which starred Tom Hanks back in like the 80s or 90s. But his book, The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, was, like I say, it was kind of like a historical novel. So he took some liberties, but these were based on real people. It was a group called the Merry Pranksters, which were kind of the progenitors for what we would consider hippies, the 1960s hippies. So this was a group of people who took a lot of LSD early on, before LSD was like a cultural thing. So they kind of started this movement. And it was led by a man named Ken Kesey, the group of Merry Pranksters. One of their, I wouldn't say led, because it was very much hippie-ish, so they didn't really have leaders. But one of the most notable characters was a man named Ken Kesey, and he wrote a book called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which later became a movie. I'm sure many of you know that one. The premise of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is about a man who's locked away in a mental institution. Well, Ken Kesey actually would volunteer in real life. This is part of this novel, The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. He would volunteer at a local mental asylum. This was back in the 50s. And I think it was in Nevada or somewhere. But they were testing LSD. This was an early test for LSD. And see, he would volunteer to do these mental trials just to get paid. He just did it for extra pocket money. He was essentially just volunteering to take medication on a test basis. And they administered him LSD as one of these tests. And he was it blew him away. It changed his life, obviously. And that was partially what that movie, that book is based on, is his experiences in those mental hospitals under the effects of LSD. In the book, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the character of the Indian, the chief, actually speaks to his broom. He actually has conversations with the broom. This isn't represented in the movie, if you guys ever see it, but that was, again, a very direct correlation between LSD and Ken Kesey's experiences, because he would talk to objects and things like this. But yeah, really interesting how all of these kind of things tie together. And that was one of the things which kind of helped to inspire me to read more and more, because I would read the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, and I'd be like, oh, this guy in this story wrote a book too. Now I have to go read that book. You know what I'm saying? And it would just lead me on this trail of breadcrumbs from book to book to book. Because at that time, a lot of those people knew each other. The Merry Pranksters had a character in it, Dean Moriarty, who was the star of Jack Kerouac's book On the Road. But anyway, okay, we're getting them way off track now. Let's see, read his stuff similar to Haldy's. Carlos Castaneda. Never heard of that one, Brian. You'll have to link that in Discord for me, buddy, because otherwise I'll forget that name. But yeah, I'll check it out. I've been trying to switch over from my Audible. I do a lot of audiobooks from Audible, but Audible sucks. I'm trying to get off those. You're still a fantasy reader. I love the T.A. Baron Merlin books. Those sound interesting. Hey, listen, any kind of reading is good reading. When I was a kid, I used to read comic books, and I still think that was one of the most like foundational things for my love of reading. You know, it's just keeping it going, whether it's comic books or Greek mythology. There's a through line between all of those things. And you know, a book, you know, an author that promoted his books in his other books like that. That's a good way. That's a smart tactic. All right, 421. I haven't forgot my promise. We're going to get up and do some real work in the morning here. Amelia Atwater Rhodes with vampires and shapeshifters. I love Margaret Atwater, Atwood. Margaret Atwood. Prank dosing is evil. They didn't do that. Centipede 7 feet long. Dino-sized tick after seeing the huge dragonfly fossils. Yikes. Giant bugs were nightmare fuel. It's funny to think just how horrible the earth was for like any living being, like no matter what you were. Like everything was just out to eat you. Even today it's a pretty dangerous place, but I feel like we live in a much more like calm ecosystem. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I would feel different if I was like living in the jungles of the Amazon or something, but it does feel like we're in a pretty mild time. Okay, let's put some stuff away here. Oh, appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. We're going to be streaming again tomorrow. Don't forget my stream schedule is pinned in chat. There it is. Let's actually take that. So that's coming out. We don't have enough, but we are getting closer, people. I've got 15 of those. The Cambrian explosion was just the buffet getting bigger. That was the buffet refill. Prehistoric sea critters were actually nightmares. The fossils look like first drafts. That's true. Yeah, that Cambrian explosion you mentioned, that does look like God's first draft or whatever. 100%. All right, let's eat our fill. It's 5 a.m. We got a big day ahead of us, people. So we're going to get out there and do some mining. Now, one thing I forgot last time were those beams. Shit, that's spoiled. You guys didn't see that. You didn't see that. Rabbit meat almost spoiled there. Damn it. So I would like to make some more beams, ceiling beams. To be honest, I've got some already, but they're down there at our iron mine, and I don't want to walk all the way to the iron mine just to get them. So I should probably chop a tree down, because I don't have any wood. It's all charcoal. All right, so look at this, look at this. Bam. We need 6 more pieces of zinc, and I think we'll have enough for our anvil, people. Huge, huge, huge step. All right. Got a couple of signs. I need a little bit of charcoal. Let's knock that down. What am I doing with my charcoal these days? Okay. Yep, no zinc. Just like hiding out, right? No. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Toad Squish. I missed that there, buddy. You got to go? Well, thank you so much for hanging out today, Toad. I really appreciate you, my friend. And I hope you can make it with us tomorrow, too. But yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, buddy. All right, let's grab that. Grab this. Eat. And put her down. All right. I don't have any food with me, so here's what we'll do. We'll get a quick pot going. Oh, what do we want? We could do that. And then... Actually, no. All right, that's actually pretty good right there. That's a good stew or porridge, whatever. All right, so that's lit. Let's step outside. I'm going to put those down. So I don't actually need that right now. Let's drop this crap off. Let's dig up a little bit of dirt so I've got more to tower with if need be. Oh, how's this coming? Good, good, good. All right, we'll grab this. Shark predates trees. That's interesting, Rod. Yeah, sharks as a species are extremely successful, aren't they? I mean, they've basically been around since some of the earliest like fish, haven't they? And yeah, they have just dominated the oceans. Beams, beams, the magical wood. The more you used, the more you stood. Stood safely under beams. Keep going, Benny. I know that poem. But I know it for another word besides beams. Beans. Beans, beans, the magical fruit. Finish that one, please. And you'll get yourself banned. It's lit. Let's go, everybody. Thanks for hanging out today. Let's see here. The more you eat, the more you do. Ban. Rod Banner. I know you're on YouTube, but she's on Twitch. I don't care. Cross-platform ban. She's evasive, too. The mongoose will outrun your ban if you're not quick enough. Oh, shit. There goes my shovel. My shovel just tooted. I can't get up here. All right. Let's go down. Bop. Yes, people, this is it. We're playing Vintage Story, but you know where I'd rather be right now? On the top server, playing the new 1.22 update with my friends. But we'll get there. It's coming, people. Hammerheads are super weird, aren't they? I've always loved the hammerhead because of their weirdness. You know, they also migrate. I've heard in like huge schools, like you'll see like hundreds of hammerheads swimming. Apparently they migrate too, and scientists don't know like why exactly. All right, so let's see. What are we doing? We're waiting on something in here to cook. It's done. All right, we're good. Pour it. Let's pick these up. One of them is going into there. Actually, let's do this one. You know what, on second thought, bam. All right, put that down. So, if I wanted to make a beam, I would need to bring this hammer with me. Oh, there's a tree right here. Perfect. Oh, it's a dub. It's a dub tree. Well, that's probably going to break my pitiful little axe here. Well, you know what? That's okay. Let's do this. Why am I carrying those stones around? All right, we're going to make a couple of axes real fast. Axe time. Hey, what's going on there? Bernard, how you doing, my friend? It can be a multiplayer game, yes. Vintage Story has multiplayer servers available to rent or host yourself. But, and there's also public servers that you can just join, you know, depending on the kind of group or community you want to get in with. I currently don't have a multiplayer server at the moment, but I've used multiplayer servers in the past. They're usually for my Patreon, though. It's like a benefit for Patreon members, but there is an official multiplayer server for Vintage Story as well. It's called the Top Server. But yeah, it's a great game. I really, really encourage people to pick it up and give it a try. They've got a really generous refund policy too. There's my Patreon if anybody would care to join and support the channel. All benefits get access to the same, or all tiers get access to the same benefits, I should say. But if you're interested in Vintage Story 2, of course, it's not on Steam at the moment, but the website is right there for Vintage Story. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Yeah, this is single player right now. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your comment. Yeah, my fault. You know that this one can be played. No, we're on single player now. Actually, that top server that I was just talking about, yeah, we're waiting for it to be reset, essentially. So once we get the top server reset, then we're going to be playing a lot more multiplayer. And I'm going to be streaming it and doing a lot of different videos for it. All right, here we go. So we got a few axes. Let's take this tree down now. This double tree. Dub. Yeah, sorry about that. So you got 20 hours into the game. Loving it so far. Hell yeah, dude. It's awesome, Bernard. Yeah, and I do have plans on doing like a multiplayer server again for my Patreons in the future, and that'll be a much more modded server too. But that'll be after we get bored with the top server, which hopefully won't be for at least a few months. So much fun. Enjoy your first experience, Bernard. That's right. Nothing beats playing Vintage Story as a new player, for sure. It's there's so much to experience. So many things to just absolutely fail at, but then again, that's how the best games are. That's right, Zwantem. This game does have land claims built in. You can do it in single player too if you just want to practice with it. But if you type T to open up the log here and then /land, see where it says for help, type help land. So now if we do that, so help land, boom. So now this brings up all the in-game commands here. So you can start with like, claim it, remove a claim, delete claims, add, remove, modify your claims. There's actually a few here. I think if we scroll up, there's more too. And also it's a little bit hard actually doing it when you're just looking at this. I recommend you open up the wiki, because the wiki has a full list of these commands here too, and like some instructions on it and stuff. But yeah, that's something actually I need to do myself, is before we join that server, I need to get in there and play around with the land claiming, because I've done it before, but it's not hard to do. It's just, you got to figure out the right commands and crap. All right, I think I need my saw next. But yeah, and on that public server, the top server, they encourage you to claim your land. They tell you that if you've got a spot that you're building on and you don't want people to destroy it, now they're very much against griefing. Like the moderators will ban people for griefing or PvP or stealing or anything like that. But, just to prevent those kind of things, they encourage people to claim your builds, claim the land that you're building on, and you can give like access to other players if you want, but that just keeps the riffraff, from stealing stuff. But yeah, it's a good system in the game for sure, and it's totally vanilla. That's not a mod. All right, so I think we're ready now. Let's put away some of this wood. Yeah, I did a bit of land claiming on my first multiplayer server. All right. Hold on, let me read what's going on. When I first picked the VS up, it was all I could think about for a week. That's how you know when when I am addicted to a game, I will play it nonstop. And then when I like take a break to like eat or something, to like sit down and eat, I will watch videos of other people playing that game while I'm eating or something, or like laying down to go to bed. That's how I know when I'm truly addicted to a game at that moment. But yeah, those are the best feelings, man. Hey, Bernard, your Arctic playthrough got me inspired to pick it up, even though I'm playing vanilla. Well, that's awesome, buddy. Yeah, in that Arctic setting, Vanilla Earth it's a vanilla setting. In World Gen, you probably noticed that. You can turn it on Snowball Earth. Although I would say to make like a viable Snowball Earth playthrough, you are going to need mods. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just going to go into creative mode and like spawn in certain things for leather making and whatnot. But yeah, that was a fun series. I learned a lot from that Snowball Earth series, and I do plan on doing another one. Crap, I forgot the one most important thing, which are my pickaxes to go mining. But yeah, I'm going to do it again, and I think that this next time around, whenever that will be in the future, I think I've got a much better idea of how to go about progression in Snowball Earth. Oh my God, look at that. Right next to my house. Okay, so I'm actually a little bit nervous with this pickaxe. Oh God, it's always something. I tell you, I'm like, yeah, we're going to go mining, guys, and then like 10,000 things pop up. mean, I do have enough for a second, and that's why I'm saving this. Exactly for this reason. Okie doke. Yeah, it's going to delay our trip just a bit, but I think we've got to do this. Alright, let me put these away so I don't mix them up. Look at my inventory. I'm literally headed out to go mining, and it's like 90% full right now. I'm a pack rat. What I'm going to do. Alright, I don't know if that's going to be enough charcoal, but we'll just get it going. Got a min-max playtime. Gaunt's common response, you start planning out real-life structure in block type games. Okay, but not part of gameplay balance. I wish there was some way of hardening your blocks so that you... I'm sorry, that you need to work for it? Oh, but it still allows for raids. Actually, Zwatam, what you're describing is in the game, but I think it can only be applied to doors and chests. But, okay, hold on. If we go to the handbook and we look up plumb, it brings up this right here, plumb and square. So a plumb and square is used in the ship construction and building a sailboat in Vintage Story, but it also has another use. Mainly intended as low-level protection, as a low level of protection in multiplayer games. Though in single-player games, wait. Okay, so the plumb and square allows you to reinforce most hard blocks. Okay, so it's not just for doors or chests. At any hard block and objects such as chests, lanterns, which means that they have to be broken multiple times before a player can remove them. And it changes depending on what you reinforce it with, because we're going to get to that here in a second. You need a strengthening material, so you can use granite, which will give you a certain amount of hits, or you can even use things like iron, which will make it really difficult to break into your stuff. But you can also use copper tools, iron, greatly increased strength. Keep both material in the plumb and square in your hotbar. It's fairly simple to make, you know, and I don't know if most people know about this. I've used it before in multiplayer servers to reinforce like a chest, you know. It works in conjunction with a lock too. If you want to do it to a door or chest, you actually have to make a lock, which is vanilla as well. I think lock is vanilla, right? Yeah. Padlock. You got to make a padlock if you're gonna if you try and just apply a plumb and a square to a chest or a door. I think it tells you that you have to have a lock first. Yeah, it's a little known feature, I would say. And again, I only discovered it because somebody told me about it during, like, you know, multiplayer session. All right, what the hell am I doing? Pickaxe. All over the place today, people. Let's go mining, chat. Proceeds to get a discussion about time travel. I don't know what you're talking about. Who? What streamer are you referring to? Because that wasn't me. No, I'm just kidding. You're right. You're right. I had to stop this time, though, because of the pickaxe. It's all the pickaxe's fault, people. Okay, we've got my whole stack of charcoal with me, so let's put some of that away. Bing, bang, boom. Oh, getting distracted. That's what you're doing. I'm good at it. Wait, what's Win say? One claim setting allows access to items, but not break blocks, so could be used as a rule on a server that wants raids. That's interesting, Win. Yeah. The game's like... It's definitely got some features for multiplayer in mind, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't think, like, everything's totally balanced for multiplayer yet. Like, if you go to the Resonance archives, it still feels pretty unbalanced. You bring, like, 4 people in there, you're just going to walk right through it. But overall, yeah, there's a lot of cool features in vanilla that have just, like, multiplayer servers in mind, essentially. All right, where do I put this? I need another tool. Boom. Yeah, we're going to have our own multiplayer server again at some point in the future for the Patreons. And like I say, it's going to have a lot more mods. I think it's definitely going to be after 1.22, obviously. Once, you know, the top server has lost its appeal. Once we get ourselves banned from the top server for PvP rating or something. But I don't know. We'll have to talk about mods at that point. Where's the andesite? There it is. Oh, get away. Bam. Great place to stand. I know. I know. All right, hurry up. I need it. All right, I really don't need that much. That down. Down. Cool. Probably don't need to bring my extra axe with me, so let's put that on the new tool rack. I like time travel. I think the universe de-gaff about paradoxes. Doesn't give a fuck about paradoxes. Gotcha. So when you say you like time travel, you mean that you think that, for instance, traveling into the past is possible? Because traveling into the future is possible by, as we understand it, in terms of relativity. You know, by traveling close to the speed of light, you will experience at a time rate at a faster decay than people, you know, on Earth or on like a stationary, relatively stationary object. And so time will pass for you much more quicker. And so that's time travel. I can time travel to the future by taking a nap. Yeah, no, Mini Mongoose is right. We're all essentially time travelers. We're traveling through time as we speak. Hey, Colleen. But then isn't everyone else traveling into the past? What do you mean exactly? Sure, why not? It's too energy expensive, but why not? Streamer said weird words. Oh, swear words. Oh, yeah. I try not to say them, but I'm just sitting here staring at my pickaxe. You know what? Screw the pickaxe. We're just going to go. We'll take a few samples, and we'll have to return if we don't find it right away. But we're losing daylight. It's already, what, like 3 p.m.? How's the... Rift activity is high. We'll just get over here. I think I know where some of these good readings for severe light were, so we could probably get over here without too much trouble. Take a couple readings, and if we find anything promising, we'll come back with that pickaxe. If you're, relatively traveling into the future compared to them, they wouldn't necessarily be traveling into the past. They're experiencing time at a slower rate, quite literally. And we know this is a fact because the satellites that orbit the Earth right now, especially ones for GPS, GPS satellites and other satellites are revolving around the Earth at a speed which is great enough. It's nowhere near close to the speed of light, but it's faster than we are. So satellites are actually experiencing a small bit of time dilation, according to Einstein's theory of relativity, in relation to us here on Earth. And again, scientists know this 100% because they literally have to compensate. When you look at your phone and you ask it for directions, it takes that relativity, that time dilation effect into account when it sends you the directions so that it doesn't send them to you too late or too early by its standards. So you're not actually going backwards, you're just experiencing time slower, more slowly. And it becomes more pronounced the closer you get to the speed of light. So the faster you go, the more that time dilation hits you. You know, so if you got a pair of twins, two astronauts who are twins, one of them stays on Earth, one of them gets on a ship and flies away from Earth near the speed of light and then flies back, that person's going to be older, significantly older than the person who stayed on Earth physically. Really, real time travel. More time would have passed on Earth, more years would have passed on Earth than they would for the person in the spaceship. All right, so I think this was the area. Let's see here. Let's go for a long range. It's fascinating, but time is weird. It's relative. It's not a set thing in that sense. Time is a weird subject to talk about, too. I feel like time is one of those subjects, and I think this applies to actually a lot of different subjects, but some of the things we talk about here, very poor, where the language, and it's not just the English language, but human language, just simply isn't equipped with the nuance and the depth of meaning to really fully explain or even express to a degree, the nuances and the meanings of time. We try, our very best, but, have you ever heard about that saying, like, there's certain Inuit tribes who have like 100 different words for snow? It's not that they have 100 different words for snow. It's that they know 100 different varieties of snow. They're so intimately caught in contact with snow that there literally exist hundreds of types of snow. As people like us, though, who don't live in a snowy environment, it doesn't mean anything to us. You know what I'm saying? So their language represents a different kind of reality in a very real way. And our language, just as people who live in a warm climate, isn't equipped to deal with a world full of 100 different kinds of snow. You see what I'm saying? And I think the same is true for time and a lot of other concepts in physics and stuff. But solve aging, the time difference means a whole lot. Rocket boom fly. All right, what did we get over here? Poor cassiterite. So I lost. So we've actually lost some of our readings for zinc here. Yep, good call, Ben. Ben's the only one paying attention to the actual game, including me. No, I appreciate you guys. Starting to get a sore throat, though. Let's see. I'm writing a story that touches on some complexities with translations, but also it's about cats. I wouldn't have it any other way, Mini Mongoose. Wouldn't want it any other way. Where'd you go? All right, Ben, what do you think, buddy? I don't know, because, we're not getting great readings for this stuff. We'll take one over here, I guess. We'll see what this looks like. I'm not into mushrooms and other substances. Well, that explains it. You're just here for the game, and I respect that, my friend. No ore in the mountains. Oh, that's right. Well, it's still going to give us a reading in this basic position, and it's just easy exposed stone. Very poor. Same reading. Well, all right, let's come out to the river's edge then. We'll take a sample like over here, I guess. Although I don't know. I hate trying to take it from the edge of these rivers. It always ends up to be such a disaster. All right, we'll try it down here. My plan to deviate the stream I get to a discussion has been successful. Raven, how dare you? I've fallen to your evil plot. It's all right. That's all right. There's worse plots to fall to. Let's try like one right here. No, that's probably too far. See, it's also difficult on these weird surfaces. There we go. Very poor. Okay, well, the percent went up. It still shows very poor, but we've almost doubled our percent for zinc, just coming closer to the river. I don't remember finding zinc readings over here, but we'll just come over here and check this. What's the Rodnator doing? That was soil instability. Am I hungry? Thank you, Mini Mongoose. I'm not even paying attention to my own physical needs. We got some stew with us. Grab some berries or something with an exclamation mark. It's imperative. All right, let's take a sample. We are losing light. Now, we took a sample over there. Remember, that was when we were looking for bismuth. So I don't know. I don't recall seeing Saphir light on those readings, but then again, I wasn't really looking for it at that time. So it could have been there. And of course, lacking a map, there's no way to go back and look. Okay, there's a bunch of dust. I spent my capital trying to ban Mini Mongoose on Twitch. Now my hammer is just hanging. Mini Mongoose is unbannable. She's evasive, like a true mongoose. Oh, Rod, you're old enough. You're familiar with Ricky Tikki Taffy, aren't you? Wait. Long Range. Yeah, written by the same guy who wrote the Jungle Book, I believe, Rudyard Kipling. I think. Mongoose. What is that? Yeah, about the mongoose. It's going up. 51%. I'm not going to lie, though. Very poor 51% for zinc. Oh, shit. I'm thinking we're better off panning for our last, like, 5 pieces or whatever. It's starting to get night, and we got this temporal instability going, so we're going to return. But yeah, this zinc, it's elusive stuff. Oh, that's right, this one had 2. Nibble, nibble. I'll scamper right through your legs. That brought a mental image to my mind. Which I won't share. Wait, that far forest looks zinky. I love the way you put that, buddy. Well, we'll have to return. Yeah, because we're losing light, and I can't get caught out here at night. It's so easy for me to get lost, and nighttime just makes that a far worse problem. She's even many, so it's harder. That's true. That's true. But yeah, we'll get home. Can't believe just how close we are to this anvil. Oh my gosh. Well, we've accomplished 2 of our goals for the stream. The third one was kind of an optional one, just if we get lucky and get another temple gear, but I was really hoping to actually pour that anvil. Oops. I hear another stupid... Oh my god. Yeah, I can't stand still for any time. Oof. Well, those are real low. Alright, so we're going to retreat to our little safe home. Whoa. Oh no. The hell was that? Oh, I just doused my torches too like a dummy. Cracker barrels. Ooh, water. I know. Doused my torch though. But you're right. That's might have saved my life. Would I rather have a wet torch or a dead body? You know, question. That's a question. All right, here we go. And I've got no lit torches. No. I might have... Oh, no, I do have my fire starter. I was going to say I might have actually thrown away my fire starter. Because I'm mischievous. There it is. Torch count. Extinguished torch count. Wait, no. I want that one out. Boom. Place it. There we go. Oompa Loompa level of mini. Handy would have the counter. That's right. Handy is always on top of that torch counter. He's good about that. Keeping up with it. No doubt about it, people. All right. Well, yeah, we're going to jump back in and pan. Let's get these torches relit, though. I know I could stick these in the cooking oven or the cooking fire to light them quicker, but not a big deal. All right, so we've got food. We've got a few extraneous things, so let's put that away. Because I don't need that with me. Probably should leave the beams. Yeah. So full. Okay. I've got gravel. Now I've got a pan. Boom. Totally another chance to fall for my ploys. You said that, not me. Great stream so far. Everyone still has their eyeballs. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate ya. Yeah, we'll probably be ending things here, I think, soon. We're approaching 4 hours and stuff, so we'll probably go out with a little panning session, hoping for some zinc, but we're going to be streaming again here tomorrow. Now, the only thing that'll change that is if we get like the big release candidate, or if a new preview drops for 1.22, we'll take a look at it. It just depends on what content comes out with it. If I don't think I can stretch a full stream out of it, we'll just come back to this world. But don't worry, as soon as that 1.22 release candidate comes out, it's all on people. We're going to be playing with water wheels and rivers and all kinds of fun stuff too. Another thing we haven't talked too much about is they even mentioned a lumber mill. That's one of the things. And 1.22 seems like it might be one of the biggest updates yet for Vintage Story. I don't know if that's quite true. Maybe some of those early updates were like much, much bigger, just content-wise. But man, oh man, we are on the cusp of something really fun and exciting, guys. But, well, like I said, I think we'll end things here. Yeah, 3 hours, 50 minutes. That's close enough. Close enough. But yeah, I do appreciate everybody. We had a great talk. I thank you so much for hanging out with me and everything. Yeah, don't worry. We'll be back here tomorrow, though. And again, my streaming schedule is always pinned in chat, so check that out, everybody. But thank you once again. I appreciate you all very much. And I will see you guys on the next one.